so strong. The world is relentless, the city won't sleep. It hardens your soul, brings you to your knees. We can face it all. With our fearless hearts, we could be ours, and we could live for 1,000 years. We could be legends. If we all go down,
Welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight, we have a good one on our hands. It is League of Legends. It is Boise State versus Bay State. And while it's just a show match, anyone who follows collegiate sports and anything from esports to football knows, even if there's not a trophy on the line, there's always something more valuable: bragging rights and recruits, because these players can only be here for so long. You've got to stock up on the next coming class. And if you win a show match against a school like Bay State that maybe you haven't heard of, but you will remember tonight, fans, that'll go a long way into getting the next player for Boise State that you will know and love. And of course, you can see two of the current Boise State players, Red Hots and Goblins, joining us in the arena tonight as they're going to take on Bay State, maybe have some of that mojo going on. But it is going to be a good one here. Boise State riding a 4-game League of Legends winning streak on the stream, and they're going to want to try and move that up to 5. Of course, after a decent ending to the end of the UCI Best Coast tournament for these Broncos, a 2-4, but winning their last 2 matches, they'll look to carry forward with that tonight. Of course, it's not going to be just me alone. I'll be joined by Adam Chizu McGuire to call all of the action tonight, and then we're going to have a doozy on our hands. Like I said, you might not have heard of Bay State coming into tonight, Chizu, but you're going to remember them because that's how talented this team is.
Well, that's a good thing because, well, I have the memory of a goldfish. But when it comes to these games, always looking for memorable plays as well as the individuals doing it. You can see just even in the background alone, Goblin so hype, he nearly punched out with sheer strength the divider there that was put up for his own protection.
Yeah, the players are excited, we're excited, and we also have a very exciting opportunity before we get into any sort of draft. We're going to be joined by Brian Hummel, the head coach of Bay State esports team. So we're going to get a little bit of a sneak peek onto them. So that'll be a lot of fun once we get him to join us here. Waiting for Brian Chizu, and it's going to be fun. It's always fun when you have a head coach of the other team because we usually have the Boise State perspective. Now we're going to get the rivals perspective before we go into the game. That's always fun.
Absolutely, and it's just always interesting to get a new face, and as we say it, there he is. Brian, thank you so much for joining us, man.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Well, Brian, let's just start with the basics. Tell us a little bit about Bay State's esports, how they got started, and why we were told before this started that this is going to be a team we're going to remember after tonight.
Sure, yeah. So the program started about a year ago. Our president just had a crazy idea. He's like, all these colleges are doing esports. Let's go all out and make a full varsity program, offer scholarships and everything. So I think they really wanted to step on board with everyone else and try to emulate programs like yourself. And then a few months later, here I come, and I'm recruiting my butt off, working hard. And I think you guys might remember us a little bit after these matches because we picked up some pretty good players this season. I'm sure you guys will mention on that later, but super excited to see how we do. And this is actually only our second scrim as a team together. I had them take the summer off, so we'll see how it goes. But very excited for some competition.
Well, look at how generous you are giving them the summer, even though deep down they're going to be playing anyways. We mentioned coaching, and that's kind of a very infantile kind of thing right now. So do you just coach one game? Do you coach all the games? How deep do your tendrils run as far as this program is concerned?
Sure. So, my background would be more in the first-person shooter aspects. Those are the games that I can coach. I did play college football, and I played sports my whole life, so I do know how to bring teams together and bring that type of atmosphere. For my league team, I know a little bit. I don't know. I'm not a professional player, by any means. I actually have a professional player that's coaching them, so that helps them out. My standpoint is I just point out the obvious, like stop getting picked early game. Your positioning was kind of weak. I try not to target my players or anything. We just go over it as a team and give them the confidence, I think they just need some confidence, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely. And then, Brian, we can get you out here on this one. Why don't you talk about recruiting a little bit. How do you sell the Boston area to players? Because, of course, they're going to, even though it is a virtual game, they've got to spend their collegiate lives in Boston. So how do you sell the local area? How do you get people here besides, hey, come play video games for us?
Sure. So, it's Boston. It's awesome. Boston sells itself. I like to say Boston's your campus. It's not just the typical campus that you're going to go to. You're walking by hundreds of thousands of people a day. It's a different experience on its own. And I don't know, just the opportunities for jobs after college. There's so many different industries here that you can get into, and it's just an easy way instead of, going to school, who knows, and then having to travel to Boston for work. You're already here, That's just my opinion. But
Well, and so one of the things that are I don't know, you're going to become very familiar with, especially in the unfamiliar worlds, is how do you prepare for an upcoming game in something you are unfamiliar with, like this match tonight with Boise State University?
Sure. I mean, I try to put the most responsible, most knowledgeable people in charge of those types of things. I'm kind of the middleman for that. So, like, I
Right.
have one of my players, the ex-LCS player, Quast. He's our player coach right now. He's been doing a lot of work with the team, getting them ready, doing the duo queues. And I think as long as I can put the right people in the place to get the job done, then it's going to get done. Even I might not have the knowledge, at least they do. So that's where my standpoint is on that.
Absolutely. Well, and you said my favorite player of all time, Quas, is a Team Liquid fan and a Curse fanatic. Before that, I will say, without a doubt, one of the best pickups you ever have possibly conceived.
I am very excited.
And Brian, we'll let you all leave on this one. We obviously know about Boise State. What do we expect from Bay State tonight in these games? What should we be watching out for?
I mean, you guys creamed us last year, so we're hoping to be able to compete this year. I think we'll have a fun show match, and it's all just a learning experience. I think what you can expect from us is some early game pressure on the ganks, and hopefully dominating top lane with Quas, and we'll see what we can do.
Well,
Right,
Brian,
absolutely.
thank you so much. Good luck to Bay State tonight. We'll be rooting for Boise State, but thanks again so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, man. Am I allowed to say that, like, sure, we're Boise State area, but, like, I'm having a hard time. Like, this is between a rock and a hard place for me because, again, Quas, like I said, one of my favorite players from back in the day. So to see this coming into my world, very excited. You very well could lose my allegiance tonight. Production is asking if I have just quit, and the answer is, I will find out after the game.
I'm going to say, it's always better when you have two people who are rooting for opposite teams,
Right.
casting, because otherwise, we're both when one team does bad, we're both really sad. So, I have no problem, Chizu, if you want to change over tonight.
Oh yeah.
If you want me to cut a little deep, Team Liquid could probably use some sort of victory here.
We only made it so far into the cast. But that's one of the things that, we were going to kind of touch on and that I wanted to kind of highlight is just the level of unknown professionalism that some of these teams will have. You take a look at, the lineup as far as Boise State has done, excuse me, in the last handful of days, including that Best Coast tournament we were just talking about. They are on fire right now, and that comes off of, no pun intended, Red Hots, as well as the rest of the team, and they are definitely starting to gel. And very much looking forward to seeing what happens with Bay State, especially if they have the lineup that they do with the people backing them as well.
Yeah, no, and I do think that it is nice, as you were talking about, that this influx in from the pro scene down to the collegiate scene, sort of setting up maybe a pipeline. It is sort of weird to hear about an ex-LCS player coming back to school. Usually you don't hear about that in most traditional sports, about a guy who was pro and then somehow has college eligibility. That would be sort of interesting to see, but it is kind of nice to see this transition and hopefully have that pipeline one day where we could see someone like Boise State, hey, that player was really fantastic, and now we know right where they're going in academy, almost like a draft like we see in other sports. So I agree with you, Chizu. It is kind of nice to see this pipeline slowly developing between collegiate and pro scenes, and at least in League of Legends.
Well, Fish, that also is a clear indication that, and I'm sorry I'm going to say this, both you and I are getting old when we start referring to, ex-members of certain things moving into certain areas. That also goes to show you how young the talent pool can be as we take a quick look at the lineups for both of these teams. It's starting to get younger and younger that these individuals are trying to find, kids from high school into the college, into that pro tier level. And Q-Meyer, as we were talking about, Diego Ruiz, of course, Quas, that we were talking about earlier, you got Devil de Grey, as well as Kao X Sakaki, as well as Admirable Potato for Bay State.
Which I was going to say, the support for Bay State might want to consider a transfer there. You're Admirable Potato. What better state to play in than Boise State in Idaho, where we're known for potatoes? So maybe he should consider a move out, because you got the Summoner name already. You're good to go.
Hey, maybe this game will be a clear indication of where they want to go next. But speaking of going next, we have ourselves a little bit of a draft here as Boise State going up against Bay State here in a show match. And I'm not going to lie, Fish, unbelievably excited. And much like the 90s, I am torn.
As we do hit in here, the Sona ban away by Boise State, Zillion banned away by I'm guessing that the red team would be Boise State, because I was going to say the mid laner for Bay State, a Zillion one trick. So I'm going to guess that they did not ban away their own Zillion. So Sonar Rumble banned away by Bay State. Zillion Gangplank taken away by Boise State here as we enter our last bans of Phase 1.
Oh, surprise, surprise, we're seeing the Rumble removed as well. And you know what? You don't even need masks to tell what is going on underneath that, with the Akatsuki mask on. You can tell in Red Hot's eyes whatever just happened was quite amusing to him, and that would be that Rumble ban we were talking about, as Zoe as well as Senna going to be removed from play here as well.
Yeah, first pick, Caitlyn going to come out there for Bay State, and basically a given at this point. Strongest AD carry, even the slight movement speed nerf really did nothing. I had seen that the Bay State mid laner experimenting with Senna a lot in his recent games. Boise State takes that away, and then the Swain pick for the Broncos here at Chizu. Your guess is as good as mine as where that's going to end up.
I have an inkling. So listen, Fish, you need to start making it a habit of getting here earlier and, talking to the players, shaking hands, socially distant kind of style, because I know exactly where this swing is going, and I'll leave it up to the mind's eye and see if you can figure it out. We know where that Skarner's going, though. Absolutely no questions asked.
Yeah, Morgana picked up there by Bay State. That is the Kate Morgana lane that has seen a ton of play throughout the year. I remember a lot of it in the spring for Boise State as they made their way to the Mountain West semifinals. So definitely a strong lane for Bay State. And then the Olaf pick, going to be the last one there. Very, very strong jungler. Going to use that Ragnarok to be able to train down potentially Goblin. And then there's the Vel'Koz pick, the last one for Boise State. Playing a little bit of mind games there. A couple of more supporty APs picked up, but I'm pretty sure we can maybe figure out. You already know, Chizu, so I think I have an idea where this is going.
I know everything. I know all. I have my all-seeing Vel'Koz eye good to go, as well as my, Swain all-seeing eye in that instance. It's a very eye-based comp here from Boise State, but I did want to highlight what is this Olaf here, one of the most contested picked or banned out champions in the current League of Legends meta, just because, like you touched on, Ragnarok is great and everything. Not necessarily the highlight, though, when he's smacking you in the face over and over again for a quarter of your health.
Yeah, the Ragnarok just enables the poor AD carry to say, hey, why isn't anyone peeling? Oh, that's right. You can't peel. Usually he gets a GA pretty quickly. He says, try and peel me twice. So I'll be curious to see how Boise State wants to handle it. And I will say with the Skarner pick, as we see Vladimir and Silas banned away, that's not something we typically see Aqua on. He's more of an aggressive jungler. You've seen a lot of Graves, a lot of Vi. So I am going to be curious to how more of this tanky team support Skarner works for Aqua, because that's just not something we've seen him on a lot on the stream. Really, if ever. He's usually the one getting a lot of the kills and sort of helping Boise State through the mid-game as the Bay State bans away Oriana in the last pick. So I'm curious how that Skarner is going to pan out for Boise State in Game 1.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting scenarios where, again, if this Skarner can start just steam rolling out of control, which he is apt to do, then things will be just fine. But I want to see what Boise State decides to pick up here. I love the Lucian snag as well. No matter who that champion ends up in the hands in, they've actually got quite stellar skills with that champion. They know when to go. And given the lineup here, they don't even necessarily need that, because the engage tools all the way from the Vel'Koz slow to the Swain grab is going to be absolutely pivotal for this Boise State makeup.
And waiting on Bay State here. Looks like a mid or top laner potentially. Very curious what they're going to bring out here. Just a quick look at the notes. Cal loved his Zillion. He also loved Lulu and Galio, which I thought were very interesting. And that he did play Lulu mid a couple times in solo duo. I was kind of shocked by that. But it looks like it's going to be the bird is the word. Anivia going to be picked up there. Lots of wave clear. More of a little bit of a poke there. Going to allow the Olaf maybe cut off the rest of the team. Allow Olaf to train him down. And then the Ornn final pick. Of course, everyone knows about Ornn. Very strong top laner. Does a shocking amount of damage for a tank. And of course can upgrade his team's items once he hits level 13. Just a ton of power overall in that top champion.
Well, and just in general for the side of Bay State, just all the way to late game. Get ready for, as I like to say, the 45-minute game incoming. May not actually last that long, but the longer the game does draw out, the more they will be excited, whether it's the level 13 upgrades from the Ornn or the fact that each one of their champions just gets absurdly strong as the game goes on and they finish items. Again, take a look at the Olaf. Just look for the early game push into the later end of that.
And then finally, Renekton going to be picked up there for Red Hot's. Probably one of the few times we've seen him get a flash more of those bruiser damage style champs. Usually been relegated to tanks like Malphite, which, as you talked about, is kind of where this team got this hot streak started when he started playing Malphite in the top lane. We've also seen him on Ornn some, so I'm very excited to see Red Hot's on probably the meta top laner right now, at least the professional level. Renekton in almost every game, so I'll be excited to see how that matchup goes with the Renekton versus the Ornn.
Yeah, very excited to see what I am going to assume is this Swain into the bottom lane. That was the first thing that they said to me today. You ready for bottom lane Swain? I'm like, okay, boys, go for it. So this pick here, the fact that it's locked in was no surprise to me. The makeup of this general team, like I said, is really give and go. Find a target, eviscerate them, whether it's going to come from the Renekton jumping in with the stun followed up with a Dominus, or if that Skarner's able to grab a poor unsuspecting unit, there's a handful of individuals capable of dealing out an absurd amount of damage, and even on the disengage, to continue that fight.
This is Bay State versus Boise State in League of Legends. Nice little show match between the two teams, but of course, there's always bragging rights on the line. And as we talked about, there's always high-level recruits, potential former pros that might be watching. And, this could go a long way in swaying them to say, which B school do I want to play for, Boise State or Bay State? So there's a lot of pressure on the line because you're kind of playing for your replacement in a sense, because you're going to play for someone who is eventually going to be recruited either to take over when you graduate or maybe push you for a spot next semester. So it is a weird sense for these players, but also it's always nice to get a W, even if potentially your potential replacement is watching this game.
Oh, absolutely, and that's just the thing. I've always debated when it comes to, watching replays, VODs, the delay of stream. Traditional sports, as they're going to be labeled, are easily shown tape. That's part of the, professional process, is sit down, watch this tape, here's what's going to happen throughout the course of the situation. So sure, will that have some, crucial impact as far as the future? Absolutely. But we are actually getting confirmation that it is Shen, not Ornn, so that makes things a little bit more curious, but same point kind of stands. Shen's early game is not the most terrifying thing in the world. It's that post 6 and beyond where things start to get out of control.
Yeah, and then that kind of leads me to the question we just saw there in chat, the poll, who won the draft? And that was my one concern for Boise State is, who is Skarner going to lock down? Because if Morgana plays it right, he can just binding Aqua if he tries to go for that Caitlyn. So that makes it a bad choice. You probably don't want to bring Olaf into your team. Ornn, I was like, okay, maybe you can cancel the Ornn Horn, but Shen, you definitely don't want a Shen taunting your team. So maybe Anivia is the only logical choice because, yeah, he's going to want Caitlyn, but can he get to Caitlyn? So that's why I'd have to lean Bay State, just because I don't know if there's that many great targets for Skarner to grab, and his ult kind of makes or breaks how useful he is in a team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, whether the Black Shield comes into play is the big question. But when it comes to an all-engaged composition like Boise's have to play, you just got to wait and see. Got to make sure you get those flanks and execute efficiently.
Well, before we get in, one thing to keep in mind is Doc's keys to the game. Know your trade, play for level spikes, time management, and of course, never take a fair fight. Very hard to do with a Shen on the other side. Stand United and Teleport going to make that teleport advantage almost always on the Bay State side. It's all brought to you by Count. Their Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables a personalized customer experience for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. Thanks to their award-winning AI, they analyze 32 billion annual interactions, so they know how to keep you safe online. If you have any questions or want to get more information, check them out at count.com. That's KOUNT.com. And I think that the fair fight one also is something that's always what you have to worry about. It is Boise State versus Bay State here. League of Legends show match, best of 3, heading into game 1 very shortly. Fish and Chizu on the call. Is Chizu, that Shen, not only does he have 2 teleports, he can also cancel out your teleport if Red Hots wants to go with teleport on Renekton. I know sometimes people bring Ignite to win lane, but you've always got to be careful trying to teleport with the Shen around. Several pro players have learned it's not that easy because Shen's just going to taunt you. He doesn't really care how many turrets are in the way.
I'm going to pretend like you didn't say that and just assume you're not poking fun at me. Anyways, that being said, I am a early adopter of Shen very, very early on, especially like when Jungle Shen wasn't called a River Shen. It was just a normal Jungle Shen, but he never had to leave the jungle based on the way that his kit worked and stuff like that. And the double teleport is something that I have really, really adored throughout the course of this game. It allows you to go wherever you want and then some. Sure, you have to be smart about how you do it, but you really do have instant access to to any point in the map so long as things are put down correctly. Be that the ward, or, you know, if you're running a hard engaged jungler, make sure you're jumping on him with the Stand United. Make sure you're taunting the right units. Are you going full backline? Do you want to grab a tank and pull them towards the team? The old like support kind of, you know, trick. You really have to decide how you want this Shen to work out in the top lane. It doesn't have nearly as much agency. It's not going to show up in your bottom lane at level 2 and flash taunt you for the double kill, you know what I mean? But it's got different options, so we'll see what happens and how they decide to utilize not only the champion, but the summoner spell as well.
Yeah, and that's just another reason that maybe Skarner is going to backfire on Boise. I know Shen was picked afterwards because even if you land the Skarner all onto Caitlyn, Shen can just stand United in, and then all of a sudden you have a Caitlyn and a Shen taunting your whole backline. So yeah, managing that Shen, I mean, as you mentioned, is going to be on base state. Are they having the right people in place? Of course, you can always use the stand United down to the fight, teleport back up in the top side. Now Red Hot's maybe caught without a teleport, and he's got to say, well, top tower is gone. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot on Q Meyer, formerly known as Quas, the LCS player, to be able to manage that teleport and that stand United. But for Boise State, definitely something they've got to watch out for. But I like the maybe early game of Boise State. I mean, Anivia we know is going to take a long time to get online with the Tear of the Goddess, with the Rod of the Ages. So maybe Boise State punishes that early. We'll have to see here, Chizu, as we are about to head in to game 1.
Yeah, and I just want to see Boise State continue this added aggression that showed up this season. You know, they were apt to play the 30-minute game. They had no problem. You know, they would wait for that. And they still have a semblance of that, don't get me wrong. But we were seeing signs of an early game that they weren't trying before. Very early engage, aggressive invades as far as the first couple of minutes of the game are concerned. They're doing the 55-second strat fish, and you and I are big subscribers of that as far as early game aggression is concerned. And so I want to see that. I want to see the confidence. And then on the other end, I would love to see Base State snuff that out. We really don't have a whole lot of information. But if they win the early game, they need to be aware Boise State has plenty of experience playing from behind and turning fights one after the other, leading to the win.
Yeah, I mean, are you really even playing League of Legends if you don't full all 5-man invade, then all get caught, and then all die? At least that's what happens when I play League of Legends. You know, like, hey, we're going in. And then somehow it's the enemy team ace, and you're like, how fast can we surrender? I don't think that's going to happen for Boise. But yeah, I'd love to see the early level.
Who the kills go on? Yeah. Who got the kills?
Wait, that's 5 kills on the 80 carry? Good luck, bot lane. You have some fun.
That's what's done here. Oh, it's on the support. We stand a chance. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Pets kill in the first minute and a half. Fine.
To Summoner's Rift.
Oh, Fish, this is why we make great queue partners.
Oh, I agree completely. I will say, Chizu, I know we changed some things in the arena. I cannot see any keystones on anybody here, so I'll let you fill the audience in because I, unfortunately, have that part of my screen cut off right now.
Oh, that is super unfortunate. Well, you got Grasp up for that top lane Shen on the side of Bay State. And, of course, Conqueror for just about everybody, including the top laner for the side of Red Hot. Predator, of course, for Skarner, so he can get in and out and have some fun. It looks like Ascent went with Klepto, if that's what I'm not seeing. Mine's actually really blurry, too, so I'm right there with you. Electrocute for Goblin, and that was the instance we were talking about. Was curious to see how this is going to go. And, of course, you've got Comet there for Vel'Koz. Comet on the opposing support. And Fleet of Footwork on the Caitlyn. Phased Rush is the new hot thing. You'll find that on Anivia.
I was going to say, you were talking about swaying bot lane. We kind of buried the lead, Cheese. This is swaying Vel'Koz bot lane. That's Ascent in the mid on Lucian. It clicked on me when you said Ascent's running Lucian. I was like, wait, that doesn't add up. So, yeah, this is way not what I was expecting. I was like, okay, Vel'Koz mid, but no, double AP bot lane. I'll be curious to see how Boise State wants to play this one out. Looks like Swain going to be getting more of the CS, the support item onto Dean there.
Oh, and I love this. An immediate hook followed by the Q. Just big old chunk. Mayor McCheesemo amounts of level 1 damage, as I like to say. And I thoroughly enjoy the setup from Boise State already.
We do see right now, looks like it is a topside jungle invade for the Olaf there. So Aqua going to find a lack of camps to his name when he goes up over there. Looks like he has hopped on the Boise State red buff right away, actually. A nice invade there by Bay State, so going to make sure Red Hot is careful because that's just setting up to me for Olaf to come right up there because Renekton usually going to push the lane until Shen gets any sort of semblance of his Sunfire Cape.
Absolutely. Red Hot, though, feeling super confident, is able to get in and out, hopefully not missing any of that CS. And I think he has the presence of mind. He should be able to get out, especially because Olaf does not have that level 6, will not be able to just run in and run out, and will be affected by the stun alone. So, if anything, an expended summoner spell, but I'm not anticipating that.
Olaf hiding around there. Ping's coming out. Looks like he was on a ward. Good job there by Red Hot. It's actually going to scare off the Bay State jungler there, so that's going to save him. And now we know. Looks like we got some vertical jungling going on. First time we've seen this for Boise State this year.
Yeah, and I really, really like it. Great adjustment, great awareness of the map, just saying, hey, I have a feeling here we are, trusting your instincts, and going through. Again, Red Hot looks to be doing some damage to the former Curse laner here, so it looks like he may have a new super fan at the meantime. Again, going pretty even here, and it just shows you the level of competition between not only these players who have been there before, but those who are looking to climb their way up. However, Red Hot's taken a huge chunk of damage here, but doing the best he can to sustain this lane, keep the pressure up, and keep his eyes open and allow his team to continue to move throughout the map.
Yeah, and I like Boise State right now. You can see at the CS, even in basically every lane, a little bit ahead in the mid, a little bit behind in the top, something that maybe we haven't seen this year. Usually one lane purely dominating. Sometimes we've unfortunately had a lane for Boise State be a bit behind. Nice black shield there on the hook from Goblin. So I like how everything all square right now. Boise State with a minor gold lead as the taunt lands on the Red Hot.
Yeah, taunt was very, very dangerous there. Definitely going to make you question Ping at least a little bit. I think he's here, I think he's here, I think he's here. And you will see what happens. But it looks like Red Hot's getting dropped on. Q-Meyer going to show him the true skill behind the top lane. Once you have an opportunity, might as well turn it and get something out. So great move. Awesome exchange there from the Shen as Q-Meyer picks up the, I guess we'll say, literal and proverbial win there.
I was kind of shocked about the Conqueror on Red Hots there. So he's going to go in, and there's a Skarner behind him.
Absolutely, and it looks like this fight is going to break out here on the bottom side. Admiral Potato going in, but meanwhile, top side, like you mentioned, Q-Meyer getting locked down, but Aqua as well as Red Hot also locked in the process. A great hook there from Goblin, but the Tormented Soil's chipping away. They are able to back out from the looks of it.
Oh, might have a re-engage here. Double the Gray clearing out that ward. Looks like he might get chased off by the two Boise State laners here. Sent putting some damage on the cow, and it looks like Boise State all around going to win a couple of favorable trades there. And a flash from Ascent. He's going to get the egg out.
Scramble that yoke as Ascent is there with Aqua entailed. No pun intended. The flash is going to come out, but the blinding light is going to strike for first blood.
Now, of all those fights, I didn't expect mid lane to be the first kill, especially against the Nevia, because you have the egg passive. You basically have to kill them twice early in the game, usually not something you see. So good job by Ascent doing enough damage there. I was curious why Cow didn't just go back to his turret. It was sort of weird. He set himself up in a spot where he couldn't be saved by the turret for the egg form, and that's kind of what cost him.
Well, you know, it's one of those things where, yeah, you can take apart the positioning or whatever, but what great aggression and read there as well from Ascent to bring that fight out. It was two very, very quick back-to-back fights from the mid laners, and just to know, look, if I take him out now, because that passive can be really scary. Like we were talking about the mind games, the pressure taunts, if you will. If you assume that your opposing laner is going up there, oh, well, their jungle's got to be in tow. That's what led to Aqua being there as well. They realize they don't even need it. They're going to burn a 300-second cooldown passive on that egg.
Do you see the back is, or the forced back is going to get him a tier, but we might have a fight in the bot lane.
It looks like, yeah, this Olaf is jumping in, and what a serious amount of damage. Stand United is going to come through. No, I was going to say, what was that shield? Yeah, it was the Stand United, and that was actually interrupted, and so Aqua is going to be here. The Caitlyn trap just wreaking havoc. It is now a 1-for-1, definitely going to be a 2-for-1. Boise State, unfortunately, does not get that kill to even it out. They will get the Summoner spell there out of Q-Meyer, as it looks like Red Hot was able to stun him there. Being well aware, he knows the jungler isn't there. He's going to burn the dominance and try to hunt down Q-Meyer here, clear the lane, and reset. So a very intriguing scenario. Gold, dead, even.
And I was really interested because, as you mentioned, the shield came out. I'm going to have to assume Red Hot landed a nice stun, but it still felt you could see Boise State was waiting and waiting and waiting for that Shen to appear, and he never did. And that hesitation might have made the difference. So I don't think Boise State will take the 2-for-1 trade. Of course, only one kill on Caitlyn. Goblin going to take a ton of damage under the tower. And interesting to point out, Caitlyn did all that with Berserker Greaves. Back didn't even buy a damage item. I guess wants the movement speed to avoid all the Boise State pokes. So now they've got to be real careful if he backs and gets a pickaxe or a BF sword now that he's got a kill and an assist.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where you start to see all of those resources coming in super hot. And whether or not they're able to continue that lane, you'll have to, I mean, again, not that you'll have to see. I'm not super familiar with the setup, so we'll see. As Red Hots is going to proc conquer, again, just unrelenting. A great wall followed by the Q there. Ascent is just going to feel okay clearing out the minions here.
Looks like we have a teleport coming in. Boise State spells blood.
They're looking for the Black Shield to go down. It is there. A flash may be unnecessary, but Goblin is going to pick that one up. Just had to make sure that they secured that one right there.
Yeah, great job by Aqua calling for, hey, let's re-engage here. He got caught out on the Dragon, and they got the teleport from Red Hots. It looks like Boise State should be able to secure this one. The binding going to be blocked there. Good job by Aqua blocking that binding, and gets the smite anyway for the secure.
Yeah, gotta love it as well. An early air drake, so those cooldowns going to be burned, as well as the movement speed pickup as far as the overall for the team of Boise State. They're just gonna push this out feeling good. Not able to land some extra poke there, but just a great setup from Boise State. Again, Q-Meyer going to find a turret plate. I guess that'll help, but they lost the Dragon in the process. So Boise State looking real good, and Red Hot's feeling himself. He's gonna jump right in. Meanwhile, aggression here on the bottom side. The ultimate, as well as the angriest Viking known to man, currently in the bottom side. Goblin going to burn his ult. He's looking to put out as much damage as possible before he goes down. Gonna get dropped there by the Caitlyn, and that's another one for her.
And shut down on the Caitlyn as well. That's going to be a scary AD carry. Already has the pickaxe. Red Hot's going to get caught out as well. Nice roam by Cal. So Bay State going to build that gold lead up to 1K on the back of a couple of back-to-back kills there following that Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely, and just great rotation, great awareness as to what was going on. They knew that they could commit to that fully, do so. Find Red Hots just out of position, and he will fall. So again, Boise State's starting to drop here a little bit. Ascent goes for the all-in and is dropped there by 1Q, canceling out the ultimate. That sure would have been a kill there, but a great move there from Cal.
Yeah, Cow has been holding on in the mid lane, I guess is the best way to put it. Ascent's been bullying ever since that first kill. The passive might be back online. Don't quite remember when the first blood came out for Ascent, but Boise State right now, you mentioned it, Chizu, that Olaf, his ability to sort of dive wherever he wants. Now that he's 6, technically 7, has the Ragnarok up, sure, that's going to be something Boise State's got to watch out for with a ton of these ganks. He can basically go anywhere and run through anyone at this point.
Yeah, and Stand United is back up from what I am seeing, and that will be a big problem for Boise State if they cannot lock him down early. You need to find a way to either poke him out and force it in a very scary situation, or you have to absolutely go for that 50-50. So what Boise State decides to do here is going to obviously entirely be up to them. I have a feeling, though, they're not necessarily going to worry about it. Can just give over the second Drake. They found themselves a Rift Herald, though, unanswered, so maybe they can just do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've loved about Aqua since he's come to this team. His knowledge of when to get objectives, when to force objectives has been huge for Boise State. Even though they are down in the kills, he picks up the Rift Herald uncontested, as you mentioned, Chizu. Going to be able to drop that anywhere, maybe pick up some plates, maybe pick up first tower if Boise State can get there. Unfortunately, all the Bay State turrets are full, and you see Devil the Gray on the bot side. Boise State's bot lane's got to be careful, but Aqua coming down as well, so we might have some 3-on-3 action here very shortly.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things you also need to consider when it comes to the overall of, well, actually, I'm going to shut up real quick, because in comes Aqua, Predator and all, is able to get a little bit down. It looks like the ultimate was actually burned there from the Morgana, and now Boise State comes in. The culling is good. Ascent looking to help his team out, but one already down under the tower, and Q-Meyer's going to find that one. A second for Boise State. Now we have ourselves a 2v2 that was a 4v4. Now it's a 2v2 again. That's right, try to keep track of the numbers. The ultimate out from Aqua is Devil the Gray is going to be taken out here, but the rotation there from Cow is enough. Q-Meyer picks up that one as the Scent is dropped. Meanwhile, Red Hot's in the top side. No teleport, no nothing. Gonna keep pushing as much pressure onto that top lane as he can.
Yeah, that's the difference Shen makes. He allows your top laner to be at more fights than the standard top laner. Is also going to have that demolished and going to get that plate. So it's going to be on Red Hots. He's going to have to get this to about 2.5 plates. That would open up Aqua to drop the Rift Herald, guarantee first tower. He's going to be close, but the bot lane for Bay State's coming in as Binding lands.
Oh, Binding is going to go down. Q comes out, burn that Dominus, and he is just going to do everything he can. Conqueror is going to proc, but the tower has other plans. Excellent. The Kai is going to pick that one up.
That is going to put that tower in range, though, if Aqua can find a way up there and potentially drop the Rift Herald, potentially why Bay State sent their bot lane up there and prevent any sort of Rift Herald shenanigans. But Boise State now, that Shen in the bot lane should mean at least a plate for Goblin and Dean.
Yeah, that's going to definitely help for what has happened so far. Good hook right there, and the bubble stop as well as the ultimate, but the shield is more than enough to get Shen out of there, but will allow for Boise State to continue to push here. Looks like a teleport is going to come in, though, from the mid lane, is going to be spotted from Boise State, and they should be able to get out of there relatively easy. In fact, Ascent is actually going to rotate down, and it's going hard. They did not know that the Viking was there, and Cal going to pick up that one. Goblin takes a free turret shot because why not? Meanwhile, top lane, they are eviscerating this thing on the side of Bay State. The infamous traps coming out, but nothing doing as Red Hot's able to clear the wave.
And Red Hot's going to have to be very careful. Just one plate left on that turret, and as soon as that plate falls in 45 seconds, it's going to become very squishy as well. So we'll see if Bay State leaves X-Sakai up there. Meanwhile, Aqua, as I mentioned, taking complete advantage of this. Lost a couple of teammates. He knows everyone backs for gold. Another uncontested objective. That's 3 now for Boise State as they pick up the Ocean Dragon and will move on to Dragon Soul here. At least we'll see what the Soul is going to be. It will be the Mountain. I'm sure something Boise State would love to have.
Sure. I mean, it's not absolutely pivotal for Boise State. It'll definitely help, but definitely would be more of a Bay State sort of situation just as far as the champion lineups are concerned. But again, not super crazy. Aqua here going to be jumping in, finding Cal, bringing him back. The rest of the crew is here, but not able to land any follow-up damage, as it does look like a turret plate did drop here in the mid lane in the meantime.
Yeah, take a look at the items. We see Red Hot's working towards that Blade of the Rune King. Sunfire finished by Qmeyer on the other side. We see the Sunfire augment there for Aqua in the jungle versus the Warrior for Devil the Grey. You know he wants to go all in. And then the Rod of Ages finished for Anivia, still working on that tier. And the Manamune all set up there for Ascent, get that stacking. And of course you can see the IE on that Caitlyn versus just a Proto Belt for Goblin. So the damage difference in the bot lane going to be very, very scary for Boise State. But we've hit that mid-game point, Chizu, where lanes really aren't a thing anymore. You just kind of rotate wherever the farm is.
It's all about the NA RAM, as they say, but to be completely honest, yeah, as far as what is going to unfold, we got Qmeyer here in the mid lane, able to find out Goblin. That shield is not going to help in any way, shape, or form, as he just takes piece of damage after piece of damage. Skarner is there to back him up, but it is a little too late, as it's going to first force the swing back to base.
Yeah, right now you can see Boise State letting Ascent, maybe the traditional 80 carry bot lane you would see there with a Lucian and a Vel'Koz. Some ward clearing going on there by Bay State, but there's no dragon spawning very soon, so nothing to really lose for Boise State. Really, the Broncos just trying to find maybe a pick onto somebody, but right now they also are content just farming. I am shocked, though, they put Goblin in the mid, because I thought Ascent was kind of dominating that matchup, but Goblin only level 9. I'm guessing they wanted to try and get him some solo XP, maybe get him back into the game a little bit more, because he's a few levels down on some other laners for Bay State.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where not much you can do, especially as a support whose job is to primarily give, I don't know, everybody else everything, and you just lay wards and walk away. So that is going to be an unfortunate situation. Great grab right there, though, as Cow is going to be pulled in. Stand United is going to be there. Taunt is also going to fall. Devil the Grey is going to find Dean. In the meantime, Goblin trying to get out of here, but there's just so much damage here. They are going to find Qmeyer. Will they be able to sustain this damage? As now it's a 3v2. Goblin walks right in, and then ultimately wasted, if I were to be so candid. Extra damage coming out to push the wave.
They're going to teleport behind Ascent in the bot lane. He's got to be very careful. Qmeyer's going to try for a gank here.
Yeah, and absolutely, there's that teleport that we were talking about, and Ascent has to get out of here. Flash in is going to pick up one for the 1-for-1 there. Not terrible. Does give over some assist gold, so not necessarily even if you were to try to put the numbers together, but at least it's something from nothing, as Dave Grohl once said.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like Ascent kind of realizing, hey, I can't get out of here. I'm definitely not going to kill a Shen. Let me just jump onto Caitlyn, pick up a kill. So I like him basically ensuring that Boise State got something out of it. I will say I never saw that Rift Herald ever spawned by Aqua, so that first Rift Herald spawn, kind of a waste. Goblin going to be rooted under the tower.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like the devil is coming in, and he's only got eyes for Goblin. He's going to get the heal, and the wall comes out, but here comes the Mega Laser as shut down there for Dean. Meanwhile, Aqua just going to get locked into place and just eviscerated there. Panic Ping's coming out towards the dragon, but it does not look like there will be any grand prize winner here with the RSTLINE. They're going to find themselves mid lane. Oh, maybe even more.
Yeah, this should be first or second turret. Boise State picked up one in the. Where did Boise State pick? Oh, in the mid lane. I was looking for turrets, and there it is. So yeah, Boise State picked up one. Bay State going to get theirs back, and now everyone's starting to set up around that dragon. Boise State would love to get to Soul Point here and force that dragon every time it spawns. Bay State going to try and deny that with every member around there. And the gold difference, I'd have to say Boise State might want to consider, depending on how a fight starts, just sort of handing this dragon over to Bay State, because they are definitely in the driver's seat, at least if a full fight were to break out.
Oh yeah, they were super excited about it, and then Aqua got locked down in the mid lane and took half his health for just, existing, and that's always a scary situation. Do you have enough time to go back now that you just got into lane, or do you jump back into the jungle, hope you can get yourself enough steel back for that dragon fight that is incoming? It looks like the answer is everybody just bounce out and get back. That's going to give, again, like we said, priority over to Bay State. They can certainly use at least one, so Boise State not going to be too upset if this happens, but certainly, oh, that right there, though, burning a cleanse is going to be the situation there, as, again, another summoner spell burn, as Boise State's just trying to get vision of the area. Aqua and Dean here going to be the ones to hold strong.
Shen's going to get that top turret. Stand United should be up if a fight breaks out. Boise State going to jump on the dragon. We'll see if Bay State wants to contest it at all.
Absolutely, and Boise State, it looks like Predators also burned a flash in. Aqua is going to find Cal. They will scramble the egg once again, no passive to be burned. Meanwhile, Red Hots jumps into the back lane, does a sizable amount of damage, not to mention finds himself a kill, and Boise State is on the run. The Black Shield is there, but the Q only stopped one of the 4 pursuers. Boise State will be gifted over Dragon Point, or Soul Point, whatever name we use these days instead.
Well, I mean, maybe Devil the Gray thinks about going in for a steal. It'd be pretty risky. I don't know if he'll try it. I will say that's how Boise State wants every fight to play out, by the way, is instead of the Olaf jumping in on the back line, it's him trying to peel for his support. But we're going to have a smite battle here, Chizu.
Yeah, it looks like it's all on this, and it is in fact going to head over to the starter. He pays for his life, but Soul Point is in Boise State's hands. Goblin trying to put out as much damage as possible, but instead gets absolutely shredded by the remaining crew of Bay State. And right there, Cow takes on Dean, a mid laner who's the AP kind versus a support versus the AP kind. Typically doesn't work out so well for that support side of things. So great moves there. They may have lost the dragon, but they find themselves more resources on the board. A 3-for-0, I guess you can count the dragon.
Yeah, I was going to say, Boise State puts themselves on Soul Point, but as Sobin famously asked, what did it cost? Everything.
Everything. Finds himself everything that they want, and like I said, then some. Very excited to see as far as what this means for the late game. Wow, a second turret is going to fall completely uncontested there from the side of Boise State, but they are going to find Q-Meyer looking to put out as much damage as possible. He's going to go right over the wall, nothing doing. Dive in a bunch of abilities is the Boise State jungler, but walks on over a trap, can't really dodge that if you step on.
Yeah, we see some of the items being finished there by Boise State. Blade of the Rune King finished up for Red Hots. Tiamat finished now on the side of Q-Meyer. We see now finally the Archangels online for Cow in the mid lane. Essence Reaver finished by Ascent, still stacking on that mana immune, but I have to say the biggest difference right now, we see just the Proto Bell. Looks like they're working towards the Leandries in the bot lane. Goblin might have it on this back versus the Infinity Edge and another BF sword. Almost looks like he's building a second Infinity Edge down there in the bot lane with the BF sword and the crit cloak. So definitely in bot lane, the AD damage has got to be where Boise State's got to be concerned, as there's the Leandries finished up for Goblin. They're getting him his second completed item.
Yeah, absolutely. Ascent now going to be pushing out in this top lane and just stacking as quickly as humanly possible, trying to get everything he can. Ironically enough, same thing in the mid lane as far as that is concerned. A laser coming out to steal the blue. Absolutely rude as Dean, I believe, picked that up. I'd have to take another look.
Yeah, I thought I saw the 100 gold on Dean, and I think if we do get a camera pan to it, we're going to see the floating blue rocks. So, hey, I'll take it. You know, the laser, not the longest cooldown. You can see about already a quarter of the way done, and I guess Boise State's saying we probably won't plan on fighting soon. We'll just start farming. So, hey, I like the disrespect, and if anyone needs blue buff, it probably is Anevius. So, good job there by Dean with that awareness.
Absolutely able to get out of there. In comes the ace of the hole. Flash, the damage. That's not exactly where you wanted the culling to go. And now Goblin is going to find himself right in the middle of pretty much everyone. In jumps Aqua. Desperation, more like the quickest way to get out of there, was simply through the rest of the opposing team. And now they're going to find themselves a Baron.
Yeah, and that was the Olaf that I was worried about for Boise State. Instead of peeling for his 80 carry, absolutely running down Boise State's 80 carry, if you will, on a Lucian, almost two-shotting him with some help from the ace in the hole here. So no blast cone available, so Aqua going to have to potentially flash. As I mentioned, I can't see summoner spells, so we'll have to see how he gets over the wall and if he even tries an attempted Baron steal.
Yeah, and again, it's going to boil down to the 50-50. Last time went in favor of Boise State, if I'm not mistaken. This time, Bay State's going to find themselves a Baron. Everybody left alive. Might as well just back, reset, and push some lanes following through.
Yeah, and this is where things probably get a bit more tricky for Boise State. There's not always the best wave clear for the Broncos, especially against Baron-empowered minions. At least not good wave killers compared to something like an Anivia. So Boise State probably going to have to play base defense, at least in the mid lane. Probably maybe say goodbye to those top and bottom T-tier turrets because Baron buff, always hard to contest against, and with Boise State, I'm not going to say not the greatest wave clear, so going to be hard to fend off a full 5-man push if that's what Bay State wants to go for.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just going to boil down to what is the main priority for Boise State. Right now, it's stopping the bleeding. Yeah, they have, 3 dragons to their name, but right now, their map control is absolutely eviscerated. They've hardly gotten through one tower in the mid lane. As far as the rest of them, still standing, but not exactly what they're looking for.
Still waiting on Ascent to fully stack that mana mune. He's had that for a while, but a wall comes up on Goblin. We'll see if he makes it out.
And instead, he's going to get locked on down there, and Devil de Grey just eviscerates everything in his path. Goblin looks to be the next there. And yeah, the wall coming down there is Sakai going to be locked in, but it just looks at this point, Aqua's doing everything he can to get in, maybe, and that's going to be an easy one there. Meanwhile, Goblin 1v1ing a top laner with more armor stat than he can deal with. Sure, he's going to get locked down, but you look at him the wrong way. Trying to get maybe some health back here is going to fall from simply the Baron-empowered minions alone. Another great wall means Red Hot's going to be trying to jump in here on Sakai. Is not able to do so. Cow is going to find Red Hot's there. Meanwhile, Baron-empowered minions find themselves a mid-lane turret, and it's almost like Bay State doesn't even need to be there to knock over these objectives.
A minute left on the crucial Baron timers. We see the Dragon going over to Bay State. Not much Boise State could do. Of course, Broncos still on soul points, so a long way to go as now the mid inhibitors going to fall. We'll see if Q-Meyer can pick up the top tower right on Q. He will get that, and he will keep pushing in. Maybe see what Bay State can do with these last 40 seconds of crucial Baron. If they're able to maybe get another inhibitor turret, maybe something in the bot lane. We see Devil de Grey down there, but Boise State right now has to just survive this Baron push.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's basically like rule 101 of League of Legends. You lose yourself the overall Baron, it's time to turtle up. And Boise State doing the best that they can, but those Baron-empowered minions just pushing so strong here. They're not going to lose anything else, I don't think, but right now the damage has already been done. Losing that mid inhibitor, the base is cracked, and that's it.
Yeah, as we take a look at the items, we see the Garner tax, if you will, the Quicksilver Sash picked up by Cow in the mid lane. He has been a target of a few of those ultimates there. Executioner's Calling and Storm Razor finished by Sakai in the bot lane as Baron falls away. So now for Boise State, that's the question I talked about before we got in. Who does Aqua go after? Because the Quicksilver's on Anivia for that exact purpose. Good luck getting to Caitlyn, and I don't think you want a Shen, a Morgana, or an Olaf in your team, but Sure Alliance means they want to fight.
Absolutely, the Black Shield is going to come down. Culling also to follow, but it's just so much. They're able to get a little bit out. Dean forced to ult here. The rest of Boise State is finally there. Devil de Grey is going to find one, as well as the Swain. And Boise State looks to have actually won this fight here. Damage is out. Red Hots is gone. Now back to a 3v2, forcing the flash here. Boise State should be able to find something extra here, but it's still not quite enough. Baron buff was already gone, so now they're just going to reset and be glad the game's just not over.
Well, I guess Aqua gave me the answer of how you get to Caitlyn. You pop Righteous Glory, you pop Predator, you pop all of your movement speed abilities, and you just hope you make it there and dodge the wall and the binding, and you break the Black Shield, and he kind of did that. So I guess that means Boise State can fight every time his cooldowns are up, and that's the only way they're going to get to Caitlyn. So I like how that fight played out, but a long way to go for Boise State. Still have super minions pushing in the mid lane. Going to have to find a way to contest that next Baron, and also find a way to try and maybe get Soul for Boise State, get that Dragon Shield. At least going to help them take some of the damage coming out from Bay State.
Well, and you also just need to consider the overall gold amount now as absolutely devastating on the side of Boise State. Bay State right now, sure, they've got the 10 kills, but the gold lead alone, the items they have completed are absolutely massive. And it looks like Aqua gonna get caught out here, thrown by the wall, throws up his own little emote, a nice little thumbs up as far as that is going to go. Nothing doing for both of these teams, just a little bit of a hey, how are you though.
And we can see Ascent getting that full build online. Infinity Edge finished. Muramana online as well. Haven't seen anything else new come out from really anyone on Bay State. We see the Black Key Cleaver Dance of Death now finished on Olaf, as well as he's starting to build towards the Guardian Angel. As we are Boise State versus Bay State. Nice little show match between these two schools. This is game 1 of potentially 3. You can see Bay State up in the lead. 10 kills, just about 8K or so in the gold lead, and Boise State sitting on that Soul Point with Dragon about 2 minutes away, and Baron now less than a minute from being back on the rift.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, Boise State just looking for anything that they can do to climb themselves back into this. I mean, the numbers alone are a little... what's the word I'm looking for? Extreme, if you will. But it looks like this could be something here as Aqua is going to aggress here. But another clutch Black Shield. By the way, all your health is gone thanks to the passive there on the ultimate from Anivia. And Boise State, again, just not able to worm their way in. Or Scorpion, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah, and then they've also got to deal with Q-Meyer down in the bot lane there. See the demolish damage going to come off. Red Hot going to get this stun, and you just see the first thing you see, Chiefs, level 17 versus level 14 as Bay State wants to hop up onto this Baron.
Oh, they're going to go straight for it, and Boise State looks like they want to respond here, but they're not even going to get there in time. This thing is being absolutely shredded. Desperation move. Skarner not going to find it. The question is, are they able to get in? Able to find a little bit of damage there is Goblin, but with those empowered recalls, they are able to turn and burn relatively quickly, and everyone is out. I guess you get the crystal for Skarner, so at least you can enjoy that.
Yeah, now Boise State, they've still got to deal with Q-Meyer down in the bot lane. He didn't even bother showing up for the fight. He said, you got this, team. I'm going to use the crucial Baron to just keep pushing along. And I just got to find who's going to take the fight here for Boise State as the fight breaks out with the Stand United.
Oh, this actually could be great here. The culling is going to come out, but Devil DeGray is just so strong there. They're able to take out the top lane from Boise State. Meanwhile, Goblin is going to try to proto belt out. Is not able to. Here comes the rest of the team. Q-Meyer able to pick up Goblin. The laser comes out. It is barely enough as Ascent is now on a killing spree. Aqua able to find Q-Meyer, and that's actually an okay exchange for the side of Boise State. Despite being so low, they're able to end up +1 on the exchange, and they could be looking for more. It does have a Dragon Soul potential right here. All they have to do is corral the opposing mid lane as well as ADC. Damage is coming out. They're looking to pressure. The Baron empowerment here might have a huge piece. Looking to land the Q, is not able to do so. Aqua is in. The damage is out. The stuns are coming through. Ascent looking to get in, is not able to. The slow there as well as the install. Oh, wait, Dean was able to hit through the wall? You've got to actually be joking me. Extra damage coming out. Cow is going to get the steal there, but loses life in the process, gets his egg scrambled, and denies Soul Point.
Dragon was at 27 health, and I think that was an Anivia auto attack that stole it for Bay State and kept Boise State away from Mountain Soul. That's got to be a crusher, but all of kills you pick up in the process, I guess they're a nice reprieve, but that's probably one of the few times Boise State would have said, hey, let's take that, let's take the Dragon over the kills. We saw that earlier because that Mountain Soul, I think, might be the difference because these levels are kind of scary. I mean, you see Shen's level 18, Red Hot's only level 15, and I think there's a couple of other level differences as well. They're kind of blurry on my screen, so I'm sorry for that. But yeah, Boise State would have loved the Soul there.
Yeah, and they're crawling their way back. Again, these trades are helping them find some kind of ground to stand on. We initially had an 8,000 gold differential between these two teams. That is not the case now, as they are slowly, taking away from that value. Sure, it's only 6,000, but hey, Horseshoes, hand grenades, you know, and lucky stars. You got to thank him here. As it looks like the Predator coming in, they want that Caitlyn as they are jumping in, and the Black Shield is going to be there. But by the way, it only stops a handful of magic damage, and the culling will continue to pierce that until you no longer have signs of life. So great move there from Boise State. They find a pick, and now they have to find out how to exploit the advantage they have here.
Yeah, I think this puts all the pressure right now on Ascent. He is the damage for Boise State. You see 9, 4, and 6. Infinity Edge, Essence Reaver, Rapid Fire Cannon, Mirror Mana, and potentially building towards the last Whisper there with that Executioner's Calling. So his position is going to be pivotal. How he can stay away from Deviled Grey, how he can stay away from being taunted by Q-Mire and just falling into a binding, into a snap trap and falling over. That's how Boise State wins. So Ascent, the Rumble main on Lucian, has to be very hyper aware of his positioning, almost 80 carry-esque if he wants to help Boise State overcome the 7K gold differential and potentially steal a win here in Game 1 against Bay State.
I mean, it's not necessarily that different of a character setup when it comes to the ultimate mechanic alone. Sure, with the ultimate from Rumble, the Danger Zone, you can just lock off a certain area, but that's kind of exactly what this Lucian is doing as well. I'm going to find one individual target or the handful that are in the center and just shred through whoever stands in the way. You just have to be a little bit closer. The dash will definitely help you, but a good move there from Boise State will, again, stabilize the bleeding for just a little bit longer. Hopefully they can continue this, though, keep finding picks, because, again, right now, they're struggling in the overall objective.
Yeah, Baron, 2 of them already on the side of Bay State, and you can see, unfortunately, for Boise State, losing out on these Mountain Dragons is just going to make Bay State tankier and tankier. They would love to just pick up 4 Mountain Drakes, have the Soul and all of that bonus armor and magic resist, as you can see with the Shen already itemizing towards that. Another QSS picked up here, this time by the Caitlyn, so the Skarner tax slowly being paid by probably the 2 most pivotal members of Bay State. So now Boise has to be very curious. How can you get those QSSs on cooldown? What can you do with maybe the Skarner micro stun or something else to allow Aqua to grip someone in? Because you don't want Olaf on your back line. You really don't want Shen. And Morgana's meh, but you really want that Caitlyn or Anivia, but they both have counter tools right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the QSS tax, as I like to say, as far as the Skarner is concerned. But it will definitely help for the other things that Boise State has and are willing to, I guess, use in order to get these picks or you know, to continue these fights. That is one thing, yeah, sure, that you can definitely take into stock. You also need to take a look at current passives, where they're at, whether Anivia is going to be up for that team fight. She's doing an absurd amount of damage, you know, has her Rylai's her Rod of Ages, as well as that Archangel and the Moriel on top of that. She still pumps out a serious amount of damage. She just also has a get-out-of-jail-free card. Caitlyn, same situation with the Stormrazor and her Infinity Edge.
And we see Ascent has fully completed his items. Will be a question if he ever does decide to drop those Merc Treads for anything, just to pump out any additional damage. Maybe a Guardian's Angel, maybe something to give him some more movement speed to compensate for the lack of boots. But of course, Lucian has a dash. But this means Boise State's going all in with the Predator pop.
Whoa, that is a fast Scorpion, but the damage is not entirely where they wanted it. It looks like they are going to find one. Red House is going to find Sakai, and damage is going to come out here for Boise State. Stand United even used there, as Q-Mire is going to be removed from his team. Boise State has done it. They have found a way to split up the team and get the kill. Buried is the call. Devil DeGray is up top, but it looks like Red Hots is also going to find him. In comes Q-Mire, so much damage. Ragnarok burned as well. Goblin going to have some agency here, as it looks like they are going to find the Shen. Q-Mire is dropped, and Boise State has found an in and will be gifted over a dragon. They don't even need their jungler, because it is a man mode fight here in the opposing red side. Blue team is going to pick up the dragon, and the Scorpion says, get on over here. Aqua finds it. Baron Boise State, a 4 for however many exchange 1 it looked like. Boise State finds their way back in.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, I don't want to rain on your parade, Chizu, but another Mountain Dragon picked up for Bay State. Good job by Cow to recognize that. Means not only are they more tankier, but that next Dragon very pivotal for both sides, as they're both on Soul. So I like everything Boise State did, but I would have loved to have sent one. Leave Devil DeGray go. His job was to distract him, and I'm going to say he played that role perfectly. They needed to send someone over to the Mountain Dragon, try and pick up that Soul, because another one on Bay State going to make that next fight just a bit more harder with the extra armor and magic resist.
Yeah, and again, we talked about how BSU is slowly clawing their way back. And I just realized BSU, Bay State, BSU, they're both Bay State. I'm a dummy. Anyways, that being said, Boise State University, the Broncos able to find, again, this goal difference now down to 3,000. Multiple team fights back-to-back that they have found. Sure, the soul point is terrifying, but right now it looks like they're going to look for Q-Meyer. Black Shield is enough to scare them away.
Yeah, and you can kind of see when Boise State's going to go all in. Just watch Aqua, the Skarner's items there. When they all go on cooldown, we do see, of course, the Predator on cooldown. That means he's going in as Goblin's going to try and get away from the undertow.
It's one of those things where when you see the Proto Belt used, you know that they're in a bad situation, so Bay State decides to continue on. Aren't going to find anything for it, and now Boise State is going to be gifted an opportunity to recollect themselves, try to get Goblin back up. They've also got the Baron buff, so now they can just try Baron-empowered minions. You also see here that Dean has picked himself up. If I am not mistaken, at Banshees, though, my screen is cut off here, but serious damage coming out from Cow, and the ultimate there from Dean was almost enough. Thank goodness for the heal. They'll find themselves a mid-turret. Here comes Q-Meyer in on Red Hot, but burned away there, and now Aqua going to back him up as they find that mid-lane turret.
Yeah, Boise State doing a great job using these Baron and Power Cannon minions, outranging the turret, means they get free shot after free shot. Also looks like the bot inhibitor turret's gone down as the fight breaks out here a little bit in the mid lane.
Oh man, and it is a free-for-all here. Dominus going to be burned as well. As far as tanky and damage is concerned, you find no better than this. Meanwhile, Red Hot's able to get a little bit of lifesteal back, but they are just going to whittle him away, even with the ultimate, and now they are able to use the Skarner ultimate. The rest of Boise State is here, but as is Bay State, they do find Goblin. They lock him in. His health is removed as Admirable Potato finds one there, and Q-Meyer looking to get something else going. Boise State here, and for as quickly as they got it, it all goes amiss.
Yeah, good news for Boise State in that scattered team fight. They were able to pick up the bot inhibitor, so now they will have super minions pressuring down on the bot side. The crucial Baron timer is going to fall, so there will be no pushing allowed for Boise State. As we see Aqua going to blast cone over, Double the Grey may be caught.
Yeah, and it looks like Devil de Grey is going to jump immediately onto Lucian. He's not as squishy as he anticipated because he has so many items completed, aka all of them, and absolutely eats one of the more terrifying junglers in the game.
Yeah, Scent right now the only player on either side to have a full inventory of completed items. We do see, at least for now, Devil de Grey saving that last spot. He had a couple of control wards, but he's going to sell and going to pick up that Bramble Vest. He needs to slow down Lucian at all costs, as we do see finally the top turret going down as Aqua gets caught.
That is so much lockdown, so much damage. Aqua just wants to play the game and will not be allowed to, as it looks like Ascent is going to jump in. All of that damage I was talking about and then some coming through, and Morgana with the Tormented Soil able to find that one.
Yeah, Boise State unfortunately going to lose a couple of members. Probably should have disengaged when Aqua got caught, but there's no objectives up on the mat right now. We see that Dragon spawning in less than a minute thanks to your gray little, at least I like to call it, a castle there on the bottom of the map. The Dragon coming to protect it very shortly. But everyone should be alive for what is going to be probably the most crucial Dragon potentially of the series. Both teams at 3, both looking for that soul, and of course, no matter who gets it, means Elder Dragon now can rule the roost in a couple of minutes.
On Bay State will just be so ridiculously tanky at that point. 4 in a row. Boise State will definitely love to get that point, absolutely. The question is whether or not they'll be able to get there. It's only 3 unanswered dragons that they've had throughout the course of the last, we'll say, 20 minutes. And if they can find a way in, great. They've shown promise. They've shown that they can control these fights. Now they have to pick the objectives. Again, this is just game number 1 of this whole situation. I believe we're playing a series today, and it is hot and heavy. As again, we're hitting the 40-minute mark. Boys, I was joking.
Well, Dragon just goes right over to Bay State. They're going to have the soul, but Boise State might want to engage as the Predator was popped.
It looks like they're grasping at straws at this point. A little bit of damage is going to be put down there. And a free Dragon Soul over to Bay State. Question mark pings aplenty. It just did not look like Boise State had a good setup there. They just couldn't do anything. So they'll find themselves a mid lane turret for a Dragon Soul. Still doesn't feel quite that great, though.
Yeah, I think Ascent might have still been trying to roam down. Of course, he had just died. He has sold his boots for a Quicksilver sash of his own, so he is going to try and go full in on damage. See the Rabadon's finished in the mid lane there for Cow, so definitely a ton of damage on both sides. Another Quicksilver sash picked up, this time by Admiral Potato, the Skarner tech. So now Aqua's choice is even more limited. It's almost going to always have to be Olaf, Shen, or something later in a fight. Maybe if Red Hot can land a stun onto somebody and get their QSS that way, but right now Aqua not going to have a fun time as Baron's up, and it looks like Boise State's trading to Baron for inhibitors in the bot, or the super minions in the bot side.
Yeah, they know that this is kind of a base race scenario. They have to win this 4v5. They have put Dean in the brush. They're able to get it, and it looks like they're able to get in. Baron number 4 is going to go down. Dean is going to pick up one, but the rest of his team has been picked on through. As it looks like Red Hot is looking for Cow. Ascent going to get toppled on right there. As it looks like Q-Meyer picks up that one. Ascent, again, not there. It is a fight here between a support and a top laner, as Dean going to get out of here, more than likely throwing everything into the kitchen sink, is the only remaining member with a Baron buff, as a 4-for-4 exchange is unfolding before our eyes, and Dean able to just get out of there in time.
Yeah, I mean, had Dean gone down, the fourth Baron of the game, and the second for Boise State would have been basically negligible. You would have had the slight extra gold you get and then immediately been wiped. So him staying alive means at least maybe pushing mid lane's going to be an option. They actually were able to pull Q-Meyer off bot side before he got the bot inhibitor, so no super minions so far pushing against each other. So Boise State going to have a slight advantage there, but we do see the bot inhibitor has respawned for Bay State, so this will be the last wave of super minions for Boise State. Just nearing that river, we see Q-Meyer already headed back down, and I think you're right, Cheese. This is going to develop into a base race, and it's going to be, can Red Hots hold off Q-Meyer, or is Boise State going to have to full sell on starting a 5v4 and then forcing a teleport in? Because right now, they didn't come out on top even starting that fight without the Shen. Of course, he's stand united in almost immediately.
Yeah, and that's, again, the map presence that we were talking about. Boise State is able to get the snowball and go comp, as we see right here, everything burned. Aqua knows he has not been seen. He's looking for something, and he has found the Caitlyn. No Black Shield, just kidding, there in time. Even with all of the extra bonus movement speed, Boise State is not able to get there in time, as well as the rest of Bay State starting to collapse now.
And we see now the Mercurial Scimitar finished on Ascent, so he is as full built as he's going to get. I'm sure a potion is in the buff bar as well, so there's not much more that Lucian can do. You can see almost everyone trying to finish up their 6th item and catch up to Ascent. 11, 6, and 9, 370 CS after that red buff. See the Bramble Vest on the Olaf still, the 3 QSSs in the inventory of Bay State on their mid and bot lane. Boise State, they're definitely coming out 1-for-1 as the Gargoyles start playing pop, and there's going to be an engage here on Red Hots as he slices and dices away.
Oh boy, Red Hots is going to basically kind of bait this out. The rest of Boise State is here. You said that, see the red panic pings from above. They know that that's the area Boise State's going to be coming from. And it looks like, in fact, Red Hots going to get a little bit of damage down here. But meanwhile, everyone is just full items. If Boise State does not collapse, here comes the ace in the hole. It is going to be blocked there by Aqua, but they have retreated. They are calling to get out. And right now, it looks like Red Hots is able to slice and dice his way out. In comes the culling. Sakai is able to find Goblin, but the Caitlyn is no longer of this earth. A 1-for-1 exchange.
And as I would do in my games, all chat. Meanwhile, mid lane, as we do see Aqua is going to get caught there.
And so much damage. Teleport coming in. Flash expended. Dean pushing as hard in the mid lane as he can. In comes Red Hots. That is one fast Gator. They're going to find Devil here, and they're going to be able to take him out as Aqua is able to slither or whatever scorpions to scuttle his way on out of there. Boise State has found a leg up here. They are going to continue on looking for this bird and trying to get all the vision away. Aqua is able to lock down. The question is, yes, the ult having to be expended. What an extended fight, and Boise State is able to find it.
Boise State evening up the towers. At one point it was 7-1 Bay State. We even talked about the gold differential of points hitting 10K. The Broncos now 500 gold down. There are exposed inhibitors in the mid and bot side for both teams now, so whoever wins probably going to have themselves set up for an easy victory. And of course you see the pings coming out for Boise State. It's Elder Dragon time. 4 straight Dragons have gone over to Bay State. We'll see if Boise State can snap that trend, and they love nothing more than to do it on that Elder Dragon, because no matter how tanky you are, you only got to take out 75% of their health if you get the Elder Dragon.
Yeah, again, I was joking about the 45 minutes, guys, as we inch towards the 47-minute mark here. A glorious display of positive mental attitude and fortitude at that point. Just a lot of two here, as it looks like they are going to look for Q-Meyer, not going to find it. Black Shield is going to be baited out, so Boise State will have some kind of entry here. Things down for another 10 seconds, maybe even 5 at this point, as they are looking for Elder. Everybody siphon themselves on in, and this will be the game-ending fight one way or the other. I guarantee it. Teleport is coming on in, and they are able to get Dean subjugated out of there. Ascent looking to back up his teammate. Now the Olaf and the aggression that's focused from this Drake to a full-fledged meet-me-outside situation here. It looks like Boise State looking for something. Goblin gonna be locked down. He's still okay, and Tanky Wall comes up on the opposite side. They are not able to whittle away here at Boise State. It looks like aggro is going to be pulled. Full health bars for Bay State, and right now Boise State needs a way in, not able to land the binding, and now it's just a ring around the rosy, a simple act of tiptoeing around this oh so important drink. The fight is out. Damage comes in. Stopwatch is going to be burned there. The major laser is out. Cow is going to find one, and Ragnarok and the Norseman will find another. Shutdown there on Ascent goes over to Caitlyn, and right now Boise State is on the wrong side of an even more terrible fight, as both Dean and Aqua are pushed not only away from the Elder, but into the base of their opponent, while the two squishiest members of Bay State have their cake and eat it too, as far as the Drake is concerned.
Elder Dragon gonna go over to the side of Bay State. The crucial Elder Dragon going to make it even harder as Aqua's trying to get away. Dean just backing right there. Aqua trying to buy some time. Q-Meyer, though, going to find him out, and maybe Boise State can get a pick here.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. A little bit more of an aggressive pick, but I do believe Q-Meyer cannot be stopped. Inhibitor is down, and that is assuredly game number 1 over to Bay State.
Yeah, almost 50 minutes between these two teams, but the Nexus will go down. Boise State just never quite able to claw all the way back into the driver's seat, and Bay State going to be your game 1 winners here. But if that game is any indication, Cheesy, we might be in here for a long night, because that was a very even match. Boise State, as we mentioned, clawing back 8 turrets to 1 at one point. That ended up being 8-8 before Bay State pulled away. A 10K gold lead that was shrunk all the way to 500 before that last fight. So these are two very evenly matched teams, and game 2, I'm sure, is going to be even crazier.
If you are Boise State right now, you are 90% excited that you made it a game, but then that 10% is the, oh, it was so close. If you're Bay State, that felt real good. It was a little scary there for a quick second, but complete control. Sure, they didn't have the dragon control, but somewhere around the 25-minute mark, we were looking at around 8K gold difference, 7 towers or whatever factoid you gave. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, the Bay State concern would be there was that mid-game lull, but they finally were able to finish things out there. As you mentioned, at the Elder Dragon, it never felt like Boise State had a clear advantage. The health bars were bleeding the entire time. Unfortunately, Elder Dragon picked out Boise State, and apparently is not a fan of Broncos. He was whittling them down as well with that AoE damage. So, yeah, Boise State, I agree with you. Almost had it, but, hey, at least we came back. There is sort of that split, and I'm going to have to say, at that point in the game, too, Skarner's almost useless, just because everyone has a QSS. Who are you going to ult? You're going to ult in an Olaf or a Shen? Your team doesn't want that. So nothing against Aqua, but that is the one downside of Skarner. The later and later the game gets, the harder it is. But before we get to game 2, see if Boise State can engineer any sort of a comeback. We are going to take a very quick break, and once we come back, we will have game 2 ready to go.
Here in Idaho, we do things a little differently. First rule, Camouflage never goes out of style. Next, always use fry sauce. I mean, why wouldn't you? Hold steady when out-of-state friends think you're from Iowa. We call it pop, not soda. We always put a lift on our pickups. And we always buckle up because we still have a lot we want to do, and I'm guessing you do too.
Boise State Esports is proudly supported by Game Pants, esports arenas and equipment. Omen by HP. And Archon Clothing.
Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, and we have a good one here on our hands. It is Boise State, Bay State in a show match in League of Legends, and we just wrapped up a 50-minute game one that saw 5 Barons, 7 Dragons, an Elder Dragon, and a ton of back and forth. I am Michael Fisher, joined by Adam Chizu McGuire, and we have a marathon on our hands, Chizu, and that might have been only part 1 of 3. Because these teams are incredibly close matched.
I believe it was Green Day at one point in time that said, "Wake me up when September ends." Wake me up when that game ends. Just kidding, because I was on the edge of my seat. Again, Boise State clawing their way back from a disgusting deficit. To pardon the alliteration alone. Again, we mentioned the Skarner situation. I'm not going to entirely disagree with you, but you know me as your lane partner. I got to tell you that you're wrong. I think it was more just target acquisition more than anything else from the side of Boise State. That last fight, especially towards the Elder Dragon, they went in at 3/4 health at the very best. Again, Bay State just had to walk in there and kind of wave their way in on their 5th Drake in a row. And again, Boise State had multiple Barons on top. They just weren't able to make up the difference, like when you overdraft your account and you're like, it's okay, I'm going to be just fine. And then your paycheck comes in, you're like, oh no, I'm not fine. I'm still overdrafted for another 2.5 weeks. This is unfortunate. So that's kind of the alliteration I'm going to use is Boise State had the funds coming in. They just couldn't get there in time. That and Bay State just got there a little bit faster.
Yeah, and I would have to say the one bright spot for Boise State besides the comeback that you talked about was the play of Ascent on the mid lane. Andrew Russell, who when he first came in, of course, hey, we have a new mid laner. Here's his OPGG, and the first thing that sticks out is that's a lot of Rumble, man. That's like 230 Rumble games, and it's been banned almost every single game. but he came to play on illusion of everything. Rarely do you see someone go from mid lane melee character to playing an ADC at a high level, and he did it spectacularly as we check out some of his plays because he was the Boise State damage in this game.
Well, and that's one of the things I was kind of trying to pinpoint as we went through the course of that game. It's just kind of the stylistic nature of those champions. Sure, Rumble's got the extra shield, but Flamespitter, again, just one direction, get as many people as you can. Same thing with the Q there from Lucian. You've got an extra movement speed. You get that from your shield. And as far as the Harpoon is concerned, it works functionally just like the Q does, different button, and allows for the slow, which, again, kit-wise, it's all super familiar. And then when it comes to the ultimate itself, it's right next to you as opposed to an extra, a 300 range out, as I block my camera, 300 range out or something like that. So the kit itself does seem rudimentarily like the same. The execution comes a little different. So not surprised that he can absolutely, Shrek whoever's in his lane, but the amount of aggression that comes from it makes me certain we never want to see this Rumble unless you want to lose against Boise State. That's all. That's what I gained from that situation. You got rid of the tankiness, you got rid of the distance in certain aspects, and now you have this. I'm so unbelievably stoked on the Ascent pickup.
Yeah, you can see some of his highlights down there on the left side of your screen, even getting a killing spree at one point as Boise State was attempting to claw their way back. You can just see there, 6 turrets to 1, nearly 10K right there, and Ascent kind of putting the team and said, let's go with me. And I would say that's the other thing I like is it's going to slowly start drawing some of these bans. We've already seen Zoe banned away, which is something he's dabbled with. I think it's his second most played champion with like 5 games or something, just to highlight the difference. But you play well in these things like Lucian. He's had a couple of Cassiopeia games where I liked how he played. You can eventually get a team to say, all right, is it worth the Rumble? Because he plays everything else almost as well. So I like how he's being able to play a lot of interesting champions you don't see very often, because Rumble, of course, is one of those, right? Even saying, we need to get this guy back in pro play. Here's some early game Rumble buffs. So I love that Ascent's expanding his champion pool, which maybe it was expanded and he just felt comfortable on Rumble and ranked. I don't know, but Cheesy was a caster. The only thing you get is the OPGG, and what the OPGG says is kind of what you got to base everything off of.
If you would have looked at me and been like, hey, by the way, we're going to have a sway to the bottom lane, I legitimately would have laughed in your face. I brought up the whole double lift situation, and not to draw parallels, much like I don't like seeing lift on a mage, I do not like seeing Goblin on a mage. I want you to give him something with crit rating, and give him give him a Kaisa. Give him something that he can you're already running that balls to the wall comp. You might as well continue to try to slam dunk your opponent there, and I feel like that would have worked out better for the Sway. And the lockdown sure is what it is, but again, I would have liked to have seen him on something a little bit more traditional.
Is this Boise State versus Bay State? We're wrapping up everything we learned in Game 1. What we want to see for Boise State in Game 2 is Bay State did win Game 1, so they are 1 game away from finishing out this show match. We do have a couple of players as we just take a speedy warp tour through the arena there. Red Hots and Goblin are in studio on the old blue turf, holding things down as you do see Red Hots, Aqua, Ascent, Goblin, and Dean taking on Q Meyer, formerly known as Quas, a former LCS player that I know has Chizu's heart and maybe even a little bit of happiness that Bay State won that game. I knew his allegiance was up on the line. Devil DeGray, Cow, Exake, and Admiral Potato, who I still think should be on his way to Boise State just with that summoner name for Bay State. So, gonna be crazy here, Chizu, or I'll make it easy for you. Yes or no, we go 50 minutes again?
Not that I don't hope that's the scenario, but I really do want either one of these teams to really capitalize on the lead they had. For as much as it's difficult to come back from an 8K gold difference, I don't understand how it's nearly impossible to close out the game at an 8K difference. Again, 5 unanswered dragons, a 6th if you can't count the Elder. I just want these games to be closed out because they have the resources to do so. It's sloppy play leading to a pick, leading to the tug of war on the 4v4. Maybe we want this, maybe we don't. That actually, in my personal opinion, extended that another 15 minutes. So, you know what? 25 minutes or 5,000 minutes. Let's go. I love me some League. I'm down.
Saw there on your screen, Boise State holding a 4-game win streak right now in League of Legends, even ending the UCI Best Coast Tournament on a nice 2-0 run there. And then, of course, you saw the future schedule, some more League of Legends coming up this week against Drury, and then the Gridiron Rival, something that I personally think is my favorite series here for Boise State Esports, coming up Friday against Air Force. But we head into draft here for Game 2. I'll be curious to see if Lucian is taken away by Bay State, and I'll be curious to see if Boise State scared of anything on the Bay State side that deserves a respect ban, if they'll just run it back and say, we'll just take off your favorite champions.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're seeing the immediate Zillion ban, which is the one-trick situation you're talking about. This is a show match. How about we just don't ban anything? Blind pick. Let's have mirror mode matches. Why do we got to be so official about it? But that's just me being, weird. But apparently nobody wants the Rumble to hit this field in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, I'm going to say if you want me to play devil's advocate, Boise State did ban away the Zillion from Cal, something he's played over 450 games on. So they say, you ban my main, I'll ban your main, I'll respect it. Shen taken away this time by Boise State. Don't want to see Q-Meyer on that. And then the Anivia ban. So a couple of respect bans for Boise State. Bay State, meanwhile, going to ban away the Sona and the Caitlyn. So Bay State not want to see a first pick Caitlyn, something we see almost every single time in almost any League of Legends game. She is just that strong right now.
All right, again, I know we reference our lane presence alone, but how many times have those traps completely suffocated us from an objective that was undecidedly ours? The traps alone, massive in the mid part of the game, but the poke alone, that 6th stack for the headshot is massive in lane. They just don't want to see it again. No real surprises there. We do see the Lucian picked up once again for Boise State. Whether or not that goes mid lane, we will put up the question mark. But the newest of the lovers duo shows up, Senna on the other end.
Yeah, that's something Exake has been playing a lot of in his recent ranked games. Not something he's played a lot this season, but we know Senna's very strong. You see her all the time in the pros, and it's something that he has been experimenting with. I think something like 7 of his last 10 games have been on Senna, so it's something that he's getting more and more comfortable on. So we'll have to see how he plays that out there. I'll be curious the support that they want to go with. Not the Morgana is still there, but I'm not sure that's the best lane partner for a Senna. I personally like something more beefier maybe. And then the Victor picked up, so maybe somebody on Bay State on the current mission where you have to play as Victor, of course, in League of Legends with the new, skins released. There's the new mission. I have the one to play as Victor, so maybe he's got that one as well.
Yes, I'm sure that's bleeding over into the collegiate world right now. I'm gonna pretend. Oh man, does it come with conversation topics? That's all I need to know. Is that the situation? Do you get
no, there's no conversations, thankfully.
Then I'm out. I don't care anymore. What I care about is the horse and kitty cat combo, as we got Hecarim as well as Yumi, who, by the way, newest in my pickup of the arsenal. Love the cat, and the horse just makes it a little bit more zoomerific, if one will.
Kane going to be picked up there by the Devil de Grey. He's not going to play Olaf. We do see Woojin asking. Unfortunately, we are down 1-0-1 here. Woojin, Bay State picked up the first one in a doozy, nearly 50 minutes long. So we could still have 2 hours of League of Legends ahead of us if Game 2 and Game 3 repeat that, which is just a ton of League, which I won't complain about. So we head into the next bans. The Renekton banned away there by Bay State. Not wanting to see Red Hots on something like that. I'll be curious to see if that maybe relates him back to the Ornn or maybe something like a Malphite, since Boise State would have first pick here in Rave 2, but we'll have to see what Boise State wants to ban away.
Yeah, and that's something you definitely have to consider moving into the second round of everything. They just do not want Red Hot to drop down on top of whoever he wants. He was very, very clutch when it came to not only early game stopping the teleport there from Shen, but when it came to late game was able to flank and find the edge that Boise State needed to clear their way to at least somewhat of a semblance of a comeback. Unfortunately, just falling a little bit short as the end game is concerned. But we got to see what the final removal here for Boise State will actually be. It is going to be the Gangplank.
Yeah, Gangplank taken away there, so targeting down Q-Meyer there. The Ezreal ban is sort of interesting, so Bay State at least has convinced themselves that a sense running it back on the Lucian. The Zoe did sneak through the bans this time, if that's something he wants to put himself on, and put Goblin on the Lucian. I know we had talked about maybe putting him on something that can crit. Bard going to be picked up there by Bay State, going to allow that Senna to maybe be by themselves, pick up some solo experience, and also encourage some other ganks. And Vigar for Boise State, which... Cheese, I'm going to go out on a limb. Even though it looks like the team's pretty obvious, I think that's not a mid lane Vigar. I think Goblin's going to be playing that Vigar, something he's done a couple times the last few weeks, and he's played it pretty well.
Really? That's a thing right now? Like, you gotta verify that because a Veigar Yumi bot lane would be hilarious. Go ahead, throw an Ornn out there as well. Another 45-minute game incoming, unless, again, that's not actually an Ornn, it's a Shen. But we will see as we continue on. One final pick remains. I don't know. Fish, sell me on it.
Oh, give me the Rise. That's what Q Meyer's been playing. I guess it's setting up for a top laner. Give me the Rise for Bay State there. Just go all in on everybody being super squishy and just kind of being able to go anywhere they want with the Rise teleport, the Bard magical journey. Instead, we'll go with the Wukong there. Give them some dive, give them some more reliable AD damage, and then give them some tower pushing as well.
Give him the old the Wookiee, man, or Wukong, depending on how you want to go about it. New upgrades if you haven't been up to date. The way that his clone can not only do the things that you do, but he can also apply that second pop-up as well. Love the pick, love the champion. Bay State already got my favor in more ways than one.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how this bot lane handles out for Boise State. Because, like I said, I've seen Goblin on Veigar, I think at least once in the last week, but the Veigar Yumi lane, probably not something you would expect for Bay State. And then there's just a ton of teleportation on the side of Bay State. You got the Kayn, you got the Magical Journey, you've got Wukong being able to go invisible. So, be very curious to see how these lanes shape up for the Broncos and Bay State.
Yeah, it boils down to it. If Boise State can get the lockdown, it's another one of those give-and-go comps. Might as well. You got the lockdown from the Veigar, make sure he can get in, then find Zumi over to your horse, and then let everybody get just destroyed by the culling and the call in there from the Forge God himself. That's just, again, the mind's eye situation, but you have to actually get that to work. You have to get the committal, and you have to land your abilities.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that's going to help Boise State is even if we get in the same situation as last time where we get to, level 13 or level 14 and the scoreboard says it's a 5 or 6K gold lead for Bay State, that won't be the case this time because we do have the Ornn items, which is about 1,000 gold every item. I feel like you say that almost every game because Ornn is so commonly picked at this point, but every gold item worth about 1,000 gold. Make sure your items are in the right spot. You don't want to upgrade a Ludens instead of a Rabadons. You only get one shot at this, and we've seen it a couple of times from professional players where it's like, why is your Ludens? Oh,
thanks for
no.
the upgrades. It's useless. I hate it. Take it back. It's like a 10-year-old kid at, his birthday. You don't get him the right power wheels or whatever. He's like, I don't want it. Take it back.
This Power Ranger's red instead of blue. It just throws it away. I'm selling this item right now. Yeah, so always got to be careful with the Ornn items there. And then, like I said, I just want to know who's going where because, Ascent played is insane on Lucian, but are we really going to see Veigar Yumi bot lane? So it really is this sort of chess game that Boise State really loves to play with these sort of picks where they flex them in different positions like the Lucian and potentially like a Veigar.
No one is safe when it boils down to the Boise State comp, whether it's the galloping of Seabiscuit or the tiny little demon himself. If Boise State can get what they want, this is kind of a scary, janky composition. Like, again, I'm just imagining the Yumi on top of the Hecarim, jumping on in with the ultimate, scattering everybody, jumping back onto your ADC, or who may well, in fact, just be one of the biggest, explodiest AP mid laners of all time, especially given his stacks. Like, Fish, when was the last time you were like, hey, it's a Veigar, and he just hit you with the R, and then you were like, wow, I have a gray screen. Is my graphics card broken? That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Literally, basically every time I play against a Veigar, I'm like, oh, my screen is gray, and he hit 2 abilities. But this is Boise State versus Bay State here in a nice little show match between these two universities. Bay State took Game 1, so Boise State going to have to win Game 2 to force us to a Game 3. And Game 1, by the way, was 50 minutes long, so grab your popcorn, prepare your snacks. You might be here for a while. Well, here's Boise State's keys to the game. I'd say key number 1, please try and finish in under 50 minutes. But after that, know your trades, play for level spikes, time management, and never take a fair fight. All brought to you by Count, who, thanks to their Identity Trust Global Network, which analyzes 32 billion interactions, helps you with count protection, fraud prevention, enables personalized customer experiences for 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. So if you're shopping online because you don't want to leave your house or because you're watching a 50-minute League of Legends game, check out Count.com. That's KOUNT.com for more information.
Oh, Fish, I adore you, and I'm sure I don't know if it's as much as I adore Count, but it is certainly close with that whole situation. So, and that's one of the things we need to see from Boise State. Again, we were talking about never take a fair fight. Plenty of fair fights, and especially towards the late game, they were able to find definitely not fair fights that ended up working out in their favor, if that actually makes any sense. That's just normal numbers, if you will. So I want to see that come out earlier from Boise State as far as the fair fight is concerned. It can be a 1-for-1, but just make sure you get something off of it. When you're staring down 7 turrets and you've got 1.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess you're going to have to say that maybe that'll be enabled for Boise State simply because we might see Yumi just say, hey, let me hop on to Hecarim here. Aqua and Dean go rampaging through the jungle and basically leave Goblin alone in the bot lane to farm on whatever it is he is playing. That might be something that sort of enables never Boise State to take a fair fight there. There's always a cat on top of the horse charging into battle. So that might be how Boise State does it. I think that we've seen that a couple times. I want to say the one game that Goblin played Vigar, at least the one series, that was Boise State's win condition. They kind of just left him alone on an island. Dean sort of roamed, and they just let Goblin get a ton of stacks, a ton of experience, and eventually just say the tried and true, stun somebody, I hit R, their screen's great, move on to the next one. We are taking on Bay State. Want to know a little bit more about them? Bay State's college varsity esports program offers scholarships to League of Legends and Fortnite. Very experienced program under the direction of head coach Brian Hummel, who we talked to actually a bit earlier today, who said, you know, League of Legends not his thing. He's more of a FPS guy, but he's going to do whatever it takes, help them out with some coaching. And of course, they have a former pro as well, Q Meyer, formerly known as Quas, on their team to help them out as well. So definitely a very interesting university over on the East Coast in Boston, which he said, Boston is your life. That's why you should come to Bay State.
Also, do your homework, being the Collegiate League of Legends rule there. I did want to stop in real quick because I'm hoping this individual is jesting. Fish, is it a Z or a C when it comes to Boise?
Oh, you know, I think it's supposed to be an S, but you know what? It's C, Z, S. It's whatever I want it to be. I'm the one talking, so.
It's a C. It will always be a C.
Give me the Z. Isn't that what, like,
No.
what is, you're a 90s kid, Cheesy. That's what the cool kids did in the 90s. You just throw a Z on the end of the word.
It doesn't, listen, you go to college to get an education. I didn't do that, and I still know better. Like, come on now.
I'm just trying to hip things up here. Maybe I'm saying Boise's stuck in the 90s, and we're trying to give the Z, make it cool.
I see what you're saying. Well, you know what? You'll always be cool in my mind, of course, Fish. But I want to see Boise State bring it up, dude. I like, you know me. I don't surrender. I actually ask, like, hey, guys, do you want to surrender or do you want to sit here for another 40 minutes? And I will sit there for 65 minutes in a game, and I like to see the grit your teeth, the plus ultra, just clawing your way through an 8,000 gold deficit. Sure, it sucks. It is not fun. It is not exciting. But for us, it is absolutely thrilling as we find ourselves here in game number 2.
And it looks like, at least for now, things are shaping up for Goblin on the Vigar in the bot lane, but this looks like a potential invade for Boise State. Q Meyer standing there as the panic pings go out. Boise State trying to set up something. We'll see if Q Meyer catches on.
Or as I like to say, here, maybe here. It's, oh wait, what is Dean doing here?
Getting 30 gold.
I like it, but I don't like it. And as a support player, I see what you're doing. Are we back at patch 1.2? Is that what's going on? Is this 10? Is this 10.2, guys? What patch are we on right now? Because I thought we changed that. Did we not change that?
I think we changed it, but hey, he wants his extra 30 gold. Hey, and
Well,
you know,
I believe it was George Bush who said strategery is the nuclear meaning of all of these. And again, it's not even a political thing. I'm trying to figure out the strategerin from that one. Yes, you get the 30 gold, but all right, he's back. He's back. All right, I guess that's fine. I don't like it. I don't like dying. It's why I don't like tank stat. You know, if I'm taking damage, I've already done something wrong, and so that tastes weird in the back of my mouth.
You know, dying's a little weird, but it doesn't show up on the scoreboard, at least at the top of our scoreboard. It will show up on his final stats. Since it is a show match, it's not going to affect any of those pretty little stats you might have for a tournament, so I don't hate it. And we did have our question answered, at least in one sense. It is a scent on the mid lane Lucian, Goblin on the bot lane Vigar. I will say, though, however, Chizu, if I can get production out here, I still cannot see Keystones and Summoner spells, so you'll have to fill the people in when you get a chance.
Well, you're definitely looking at a spellbook from the Ornn. It looks like you've got the Phase Rush there from the Hecarim. As far as mid lane is concerned, it does look like that is Press the Attack, if I'm not mistaken. Electrocute coming out from Goblin in that terrifying bottom lane area for Dean. Taking a look here on the side of Bay State. Conqueror, Airy, and it looks like Glacial, so that's a very typical set of situations. So looking for like the on-hit run through. And it looks like Haunt actually picked up there from Potato, or Guardian, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, production. Everything all shaping up well for me. And I will say, the one thing I'm kind of surprised on Goblin going for the Electrocute, usually you see Glacial Augment. Now that's usually on mid lane Vigar, so he's not going to have as easy as slow. So I'd not expect him to go something like Twin Shadows or the Super Soaker just because he's not going to have those extra slows. So wouldn't be shocked if he maybe goes something a bit more aggressive to start on that Vigar.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where, again, you're just trying to pump out as much feasible damage as you can time after time to put a great 80 song. But with everything in front of us, if he is not able to stack, that is quickly going to become a problem. Red Hot's able to put up some damage there on Qmire. Loving the Wukong in the top sign. I really do enjoy what we're seeing here, but in comes the horse. Thank you, Uncle Horse. See, rainbows and all. Qmire is going to jump in. It's a good thing he's invisible, but Qmire pushed right back. Aqua able to track him down. A flash, a headbutt, using his own turret as a means to the end. Boise State find first blood.
What a play by Aqua, saving the charge until after the invisibility has gone away, pushing him right back in, forcing Qmire to get the flash, and then still allowing Red Hots to get the kill. Great tower aggro management as well. Boise State is going to love first blood here, and we see Admiral Potato hiding up in the wings. This could be an attempted gank, but right now Kane maybe getting bored. He's going to start the back animation.
Typically, as a jungler, you are looking for the fish in a barrel kind of situation, but tell me what is even better, burning all of that and still getting the kill. But it looks like a journey's gonna come through. They are locked into place. By the way, eat a dub and the Electrocute. Nice gank, question mark ping, and yet a third question mark ping. Also, that's a Fairytale reference.
They get the flash of the exhaust out for the Boise State bot lane, so I guess you can accept that, trading it for the Ignite teleport, by the way, used by Qmire in the top side, so that'll give Boise State the teleport advantage, at least up there. You can see Goblin has it as well. Going to make Boise State to be a bit more mobile, but yeah, question mark pings have to come out after that, and Boise State actually almost turned that around. If Goblin got that kill, we may have been able to actually say this game might end sooner than 50 minutes, but I can't make that call just yet.
Well, you know, as Goblin's character would have said, indeed, that would have been a magical amount of damage coming on out as he continues to stack. Qmire is going to jump in here on Red Hot. But that's just kind of what Boise State is running with. Again, this is a show match. So instead of putting on, you know, it kind of makes sense now, actually. Instead of putting Goblin on a typical ADC, something that is more seen here and there, they're instead going to try to put him through the AP route and see what happens. Aqua, meanwhile, getting jumped in here on by Qmire. They're going to find the clone here, as it looks like Devil de Grey going to move on up this way. They know that they have pretty much burned everything, so they might as well respond by going into the jungle, even looking for a possible tower dive here on Red Hots.
Yeah, tower diving and Ornn and a Hecarim going to be a bit risky. Aqua going to get the back off, so now Red Hots has to be careful. At least a Gromp steal in the cards for Devil de Grey. We'll see if a tower dive wants to come out, but Ornn, very scary, and they've got to be very aware. If that Call of the Forge God comes out, that could be a double kill up there for Red Hots, even during a tower dive.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he's just not fun to try to gank. And if you're able to get it off, it spells great things, but they are not even going to attempt it. However, it looks like they might have a second set up here after the Scuttle drop.
Yeah, there is a control board in the Boise State jungle, so they are going to have eyes on Aqua should he start heading down. Looks like Aqua did find that one out. Kane sitting on the blast cone. We can have a full scuffle as exhaust comes out.
Yeah, Devil DeGray gonna get caught up there. A great Q placement. Get on back here. Gonna jump in with the ultimate, but in comes the Forge God. Qmeyer, the remaining individual there, as Kane was absolutely destroyed. Aqua doing his best horsey impression, getting on out of there, gallops his way to serve over a double kill to Red Hots.
Surprised we didn't see the tent emoji flash from Qmeyer. That's the third kill of the game, the third kill that involved the jungler, and all of them have come on the top side as we see that Wukong sitting at 0-2. If you want me to be the pessimist, probably not the best that all 3 kills landed on Orin, but I think Boise State will take that. That's just going to get him to that item power spike a bit quicker, and I'm sure Aqua's going to love those 3 assists as he has that Sheen already finished before he even bought boots.
Well, wait a minute. I didn't realize you had a preference here, because every time I accidentally steal a kill from you, you're totally okay about it. So, I mean, I didn't realize you had a social preference here, as it looks like Goblin and Dean going to continue out. You ever want to get into League of Legends with someone who's not very good at video games, make them play the kitty cat, and I guarantee you, you guys will climb the Evo ladder.
The only problem with the kitty cat is, you know, at this level it doesn't matter, but if you're playing with a random, you got to rely on a random to move for you, and that's never fun. Only play the kitty cat if you're playing bot lane with someone you know. Got to put that little disclaimer on.
Because it's never your fault, Fish. It's never your fault. You're like, I was on my ADC. They shouldn't have been there. Also, word to the wise, do not right-click anything when you are attached to your ally. Anyways, fight here in the mid lane is immediately returned in favor. You jump in on me, I'm going to pop you too.
Yeah, and it looks like Qmeyer says, all right, you know what? I've finally been ganked 3 times. Let me just go somewhere else, see if I can make a play. You can see Red Hots has the level advantage, also has the TP advantage, but the farm still on the side of Qmeyer. Nothing too crazy finished yet. We see a BF sword in the mid lane for Ascent. Victor working on his Hex Tech upgrades there, and then it looks like a lethality rush maybe in the cards there for Exaki, at least going with the dagger for now. Is Aqua going to get slowed down on an attempted gank?
Psych, just kidding, it was a prank, bro. They kind of showed that they were looking for something there in the mid lane. Immediately decided they didn't want it. Also had the bottom laner there to help out should the need arise as well. But in comes Aqua, able to get the exhaust. The kitty cat rumble is there by as the ultimate comes out. But now Dean is all by his lonesome, able to jump back on Uncle Horsey, is able to go through the whimsical journey. A great ultimate there, but Goblin has stopped the retreat as Devil DeGray gets 1 shot, 1 killed, more like 2, but hey, it was still a lot of damage in a single shot.
Yeah, Boise State will take that trade any day of the week. The 3-for-1. The Senna does get to pick up the assist there on the global ultimate thanks to the shields. But yeah, Boise State will take that. 2 kills this time going over to Goblin, as he is now going to have a nice little back there once he puts it all together, sitting on that lost chapter. Definitely going to be able to bully that Senna, even he's doing that right now, even down a level. Imagine his power when he backs, as Boise State sets up for another early uncontested Drake. That was the story of game 1. Didn't end their way, so we'll have to see how Boise State holds on to this Dragon advantage.
Like I said, it looks like Goblin is going to try to pump out as much damage as possible. Boise State gifted over a flash auto attack power shot. Goblin, I love you. That was silly.
The Q just missed, and he got the flash from Senna. I think he was hoping the Q would one-shot, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure that was going to do enough damage, but now it looks like Red Hot's might get a taste of some of Boise State's medicine.
Oh, and there comes the ultimate as well. No clone. Here comes the Forge God. Will he survive? He's able to get the pop, puts out as much damage as humanly possible. Meanwhile, Goblin 1v2 is able to find a kill there. Ascent in the mid lane trying to drop Cow. There's so much aggression all over the place. Victor able to stop that. And meanwhile, the horse shows up, of course, to help the bottom side continue on. Goblin finds himself a 1v2 and it's saved by his jungler.
Yeah, the fact that Goblin got out of there alive is just incredibly impressive. Good job by Aqua and Dean, the roaming horse-cat duo, as they're going to try and run away. We'll get stunned here by Admiral Potato, see if Cow can do anything as the ult comes out.
Oh, you are so mean! Burning of all of the ultimates, burning of all of the abilities, still not able to do anything. This horse is stampeding through the entire team. 2-0-5. It doesn't matter which anthropomorphic individual is getting the kills. Boise State looking great at 8-2.
Rift Herald is going to be picked up there by Bay State. Good job by Devil DeGray to at least get something, but you see 5, 5, and 5 the turret plays for Boise State, so not going to be able to use Shelly to at least secure a first tower just yet. Boise State would have loved that if it's on the top side, but it does look like Devil DeGray may be setting up for something here on Red Hot. Little does he know, Aqua and Dean waiting in the wings for that blast cone.
Got to give a big old shout out to the entirety of our Twitch chat who is currently debating what is the best color Kane. Meanwhile, Ignite coming out, and it was on the right individual. Q-Miner taking a serious amount of damage. Red Hots is there. Meanwhile, Aqua can just chase him down. A Senna ultimate to shield. It is for nothing. Red Hots trying to get on out. Meanwhile, the cat and horse, cat-dog combo continues to put on pressure here on the top side.
Yeah, good job by Devil DeGray to at least pick up a kill onto Red Hots. Unfortunately, Boise State jungle and the jungle support, I guess you could put it almost, were not able to get there in time. But now, a sense there, Cow luckily going to maybe survive here, but I wouldn't be shocked if Boise State comes in with a tower dive here, especially with 3 members.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Boise State has not held back on. Not that they haven't done like a full-fledged tower dive, they really haven't. It's just finding an opening here. Aqua is able to do what he wants, is able to find the big chicken, but is also found out in the meantime as Devil DeGray is going to be there. In jumps the kitty cat Dazumi away, and life is good, especially if you have 4 legs.
Yeah, nice smite there by Aqua as well, smiting the red buff to get a little bit of health back. That might have actually made the difference before Yumi jumped in on him. There's the Rift Herald going to be dropped in the top side by Devil DeGray, Q-Meyer, and Admirable Potato there as well. So Boise State going to have to trot back up there lest they lose first tower of the game.
Absolutely, and I do have to give you credit here as we start to see this top lane 4v1. Red Hots is able to put some damage. I'm sorry, 3v1. Teleport is coming in on the bot side, so all of that pressure is absolutely gone, and it looks like Q-Meyer is looking for something here. Meanwhile, Goblin going to put out as much damage as possible, is able to get the kill, more than likely will pay with his life as we jump over towards this Baron pit, aka a Shelly pit. In comes the Forge God. The top laner just fighting the little minion as best he can. Meanwhile, Boise State 4v3 towards the Baron pit is able to find another possibly. In jumps Kane. He is destroyed, removed from the field. Aqua finds another.
Yeah, the only downside for Boise State is that was a 600 gold shutdown for Q-Meyer, picking up the kill on the Goblin, who is 4-1. So now that Wukong kind of gets a lifeline back to the game as Ascent flashes in with the Ignite.
Ascent looking to burn everything, does so. The Ignite not gonna be enough. Both mid laners less than 100 health. They call that a pucker moment. But in jumps Q-Meyer, easy feed. JK, Horse v Monkey. Which stance is more powerful? It will be Horse, as Red Hots will also find something here in the top side.
Yeah, the minion wave plus a dead top laner with no teleport should at least guarantee Boise State is able to pick up this first tower. That's going to grow that gold lead even further. It's 3K right now. Let's make it 3.5 for Boise State. And that Ornn working closer and closer as he builds his own items to upgrading his team's items. Level 10 now for Red Hots is now Goblin's got to be careful as Admiral Potato misses the ult.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, but I know how that feels. As a support player, it's never good. Goblin flashes the wall, is able to simply walk away from the Bard ult, which would have easily spelled his demise, but it's a feel-bad moment. And meanwhile, Aqua and the cat are here, an ultimate coming out from Senna. Wouldn't it be nice if we were older and also able to use our ultimates aggressively?
The Guardian also helped. I think the Guardian saved him from Admiral Potato long enough for the Senna ult to come in. Unfortunately for Bay State, that Senna ult being used as, please shield me or I'm going to die to Boise State.
Yeah, again, it's one of those situations right now. They are doing everything they can to find Goblin. They will finally do it as they are going to burn everything to make sure that is the case. Even Senna getting a little bit of extra on that one as well with the gold shard as Boise State. Little bit aggressive. Goblin feeling himself, is dancing around, gets caught in a two-step, and then is buried.
See the Dragon Pings coming out. This one shouldn't be free for Boise State. Goblin not going to have the teleport, though, as we do see one being channeled by Red Hots. Boise State going to be in a 4v4.
Meanwhile, the Ornhorn is out, and that is going to split the team up. The question is Boise State going to find anything? Will they find anything? Are they looking for anything? No, they just wanted to burn all their cool abilities and pressure here. The root is going to come through. Just kidding. Unstoppable with Red Hot. That is actually super stupid crafty. I had not considered that, using Unstoppable in the right moment to burn the Senna stun. That's going to be a relatively free break over to Boise State. Meanwhile, we're not done. We're coming in with everybody here, but there's no Ornhorn to finish it. Just kidding. No need. Goblin eviscerates everyone, and then some. You see the smiles on Cam. Mask or not, Boise State is vibing.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked Bay State didn't try and contest that dragon. It was a 5v4 with Goblin wandering down, and the Ornhorn was on cooldown. So kind of shocked Bay State didn't want to take that. I guess they think that the gold differential, which is nearing 6K right now, may be a bit too much. But I think that might have been a Bay State play. There's a nice double stun by Goblin. Gonna allow everyone to get out alive, but he enters stasis.
That's the one we were talking about. He's locked on down, and I don't think Boise State will be able to save him. Goblin, you were so brave, and you may have just killed your own teammates as well. Doesn't look like it as Red Hots is able to get on out of there. Goblin, if you can hear me, stop being so aggressive. What do you think you are? Some kind of Allen Iverson of League of Legends right now? You need to build. You need to get to that point. And if you can't get there, then it's going to be a long road as he finds his third death here. I would say the most on the team is if that was a disappointing thing, but it's just a matter of stat.
See some of the items being finished up here. Double Black Cleaver for the top end jungle of Bay State. The Hextech item fully upgraded there by Cow, working on what appears to be a Zanya. Manamune picked up there for Exaki. Gonna be curious to see how soon he can stack that. And then for Boise State, you see the Triforce already finished for Aqua. The Duskblade already finished for him as well. Ascent already finished that Essence Reaver. Gonna change up the build a little bit from last game, not going with the Manamune. And still have the Hextech GOP on the side of Goblin. So despite not having Glacial Augment, he's still gonna try and Super Soaker some people, try and catch up to him.
Yeah, you might as well. There's no reason not to there at that point. And I love the overall lockdown. Sure. Oh, well, I guess Goblin's going to get locked down once again. They are looking for these picks. He is going to get one, and the rest of Boise State is there. So it actually is a 2-for-1 in the situation. Just go ahead and put a worm on that guy's head, as he is nothing but the bait. Aqua and the Zoomies equal Audi, as Ascent coming over the wall will find Q-Meyer and make sure he's looking at Gray as well. Oh, Ornhorn coming through? Okay, sure, that's fine. Red Hot's still not done yet. Whimsical Journey comes through. Magical Journey, I'm sorry. Red Hot's able to get the double headbutt as well. Bay State is absolutely collapsing upon themselves until they get a crazy stun. Meanwhile, do I have deja vu? Alzheimer's? I don't know, because that looks unbelievably familiar. Over the wall comes a set from the blue to the red buff. You are no longer safe in your jungle if you are a Bay State player.
Yeah, Boise State started that fight in a 4v5, absolutely dominant, and Red Hot said, well, hey, I want to get in on the action, but right now, he might find himself caught out here. Double the Grey gonna find him.
I don't even know entirely how to cast this one, because apparently Red Hot's just going to stand there and fight 3 individuals. Flash expended. Red Hot's, he might as well have just gone down. He might think he can get out of here. He is going to burn the Bellows Breath, which will allow him to continue on. Look at that offensive Senna ult. It's awesome. Meanwhile, Aqua is going to help his laner get on out of there if he can. He is, in fact. They'll pick up a kill, so now even if Red Hot goes down, they'll be moderately okay with this. Meanwhile, the pincer maneuver coming through. Goblin's able to find one. The flash over the wall gets him safely into the Barenberg Wolf Pit. Aqua finds a kill. I need an inhaler.
That, I think, sums up everything for Boise State right there. Non-stop fighting, 21-9. 8K gold lead for the Broncos. You could see third dragon spawning in here momentarily for them as well. Boise State just absolutely shifting from what happened in game 1. The Cloud Soul going to be available for them if they pick up this dragon. Another turret going down. Boise State leading that 4-0. And Boise State just running down, almost literally at this point, on Aqua, the members of Bay State.
I believe the term is nay. or Z, depending on how you want to go about it. That fight had extended literally from the bottom side towards Dragon all the way up to the red buff. And right now, Boise State just looking primed and pristine. This is a completely different story and a mirror opposite situation than game number 1.
Yeah, and I think also Exake is learning why, at least I don't play AD carries in this game. He doesn't have a health bar at this point as Red Hot's dueling Q-Meyer. Some help coming from Devil the Grey.
This is a 3v1 and somehow Red Hots is still maintaining? Not only maintaining, he might find one. Sorry, 2v1. For some reason I thought he had already jumped in. Meanwhile, it looks like Goblin going to find Sakai in the mid lane. Red Hots 2v1 is able to stave off as much damage as possible. Top tower is going to fall, what I believe ends up being a 2-for-1 exchange. And Boise State didn't even really have the numbers except for that mid lane, as Red Hots was able to aggro 2 of the members of Bay State.
Yeah, it looks like Boise State going to put themselves on Soul Point there. They'll take the Cloud Drake, of course, for the reduced cooldown. I know Aqua would love it as well if they get the Soul for the increased movement speed when he ults, because Hecarim loves nothing more than to go faster and faster and faster.
Go fast!
We see there Dustblade Hecarim in the chat. Yeah, you know, you don't really see it that often, but my goodness, it's working, and also foregoing any attempt at a jungle item. He's like, I'll just smite people, but I don't need Warrior. I don't need any of that. Youmuu's coming out as well. Speaking about going fast, he sold his cloth armor. He's like, wait, I don't need to be tanky. I just need to be faster.
All I have to do is pump out as much damage as possible and we win the game, which has kind of been the whole situation. Big ol' ups to XLNC Esports with the raid. Welcome to the show. Boise State on the cusp of finding themselves a equalizing game number 2 here, but it looks like the ultimate from Senna coming out, not able to dash out of there. Ascent is just gonna get dropped on. You see the health bar, because I didn't, but in jumps the horse, of course. Aqua able to get him with the Q through the wall. In comes the Yumi Q to follow. Aqua is not done yet, as his buddy Goblin as well as Red Hots will help continue this push here on the bottom side.
I was going to say, I'm thinking at this point with Youmuu's Ghost and, well, let me finish that after this fight.
Oh, neener. Here comes the ultimate from Ornn. Forge God follow it up with a great Yumi ultimate, but has to jump in there on the Veigar. Oh no, as it looks like Veigar is going to get dropped down here. This could be the death knell here. Goblin looking to lock anyone down, is not able to do so. And it looks like Devil will have the fanciest of feet. Meanwhile, Red Hot's here with Dane, able to escort, saving Private Ryan. Just kidding, here comes Mr. Top Lane, jumps on in. Wait a second, is gonna get locked down for a quick second. The stopwatch comes in there from Goblin, is able to stave off the damage for just a little bit, but Ascent is here, and Yumi is on top, jumps on in, flash with the Q. Ascent is destroyed there. You see the smiles coming out from the Boise State players. Not necessarily what they wanted here, but Red Hot is going to continue to wait here with Dean by his side.
Yeah, 1,000 gold shutdown over Devil the Grey. Probably not what Boise State wanted. The gold lead shrinking down to just under 6K. Probably not what they wanted, but you'll take the smiles. You can see the upgraded items starting to come in there. Trinity Force upgraded for Aqua. I'm sure the Infinity Edge next on the to-do list for Red Hot once he gets to level 15. But I was going to say, I'm thinking Swifties, Ghosts, Youmuu's. Aqua's probably hitting, what, 800 Timos per second at some point?
Yes, at that point, I would love to see the MS on that guy just to kind of see what the overall situation is. But I really don't think it's like the original Home Guards teleport, like Rammus Powerball situation where you just had like 1,800 movement speed until it burned away. But right now, Boise State poising here on the Baron, trying to decide whether or not they want to jump back into this. Instead, they are just going to look for a reset here, continue to push the wave. They got what they needed.
Yeah, Boise State dancing around the Baron, probably also waiting. But Call of the Forge God, are they trying to fight right now?
No, it's just, you know, to find out where they're at. Let's take a look. Oh, just kidding. It's exactly what I was talking about. What, was Sakai even there? Aqua jumps in, and the ADC from the opposing team is Hattori Gonzo. Absolutely no Japanese skill here, as it looks like Cow is going to be dropped as well. Goblin is stacked. set, and good to go, and says pew, 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 and finds himself another.
Yeah, Exakai learning why people like Goblin don't always play AD carries, because the lack of mobility sometimes just means you just kind of stand there and watch your horse trot into your death. And Boise State wants to end the game right now.
Yeah, they absolutely can. No need for a Baron. Just jump on in. Goblin finds another one. More stacks for that guy, like he's gonna need them. In comes another great setup here from this Veigar. Ascent going to pick that one up. If you are on the side of Bay State, you are either looking at a gray screen or praying to goodness that your ultimate hits anything. Plot twist, it does not. Boise State looking to close this one out as Ascent is able to almost two-shot there the Bard. Just let Aqua finish it. Runs a little bit too close, and that respawn pad makes his life miserable. Boise State playing with their food. Turret 1 is down. Goblin looking to basically bring these minions forward, is going to have the help from Dean to do so as well. Just kidding. They are lucky to get out of that with their lives, as Bay State is left with one single Nexus turret.
Yeah, Boise State flipping the script now. Boise State fans who saw game one might be a little nervous just because Bay State had an 8-1 turret lead at one point and saw that evaporate. They had an 8K gold lead around this mark. They saw that evaporate. So Boise State going to see here if they can finish the game off a bit cleaner and force us into a game 3. We do see Cloud Dragon on the map. This could be sold for Boise State,
Goblin,
but
no.
I don't know if anyone can get here. Can Goblin get it? 4 HP. 4 HP.
Okay.
That's all I needed. Should have flashed. He had flash. I would have flashed the wall, died, and got me out of attack. How about get the soul?
Sorry, go the other way with that. If you are the Bay State side, how about throw a damn ward over the wall, pardon my super French, because they had no idea. Why not bring it out? But what? I'm sorry, 3 more chemos and make sure that there's no way. Veigar may be powerful. His range is not that extensive unless he has vision of you. What are you doing trying to take that Drake? Like you mentioned, it's Soul Point. Just kidding. Here comes Aqua. Where's your health bar? JK, LOL, smiley face, meow. Dean picking up that one. Here comes the galloping Aqua. They will find a second. If your name is Bay State, you looked good in 1. 2 will fall, as it looks like Goblin not going to give up here. The ultimate coming through from Kane, but he's gonna lock down. Hey, how are you? Sleepy time. Red Hots picks up that one. Game 2 over to Boise State University.
Boise State. No one can really reach the Bard, unfortunately, so they'll take down the Nexus this time. Not the 50-minute game. We had 29 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock as Boise State victorious in game 2, and they're going to force us to a game 3. Cheese, you can see Red Hots there, and Goblin chilling in the arena on that old blue turf, bringing them some good luck there in game 2, allowing another potential reverse sweep here for Boise State, or at least a mini reverse sweep. But my goodness, I'm going to guess Hecarim's going to be banned. I'm just going to throw that one out there. That's a Hecarim ban, probably before the Rumble at this point.
My, I do seem to have come down with the case of the vapors, because that was hot. Whether it was Red Hots in the top lane absolutely dominating, Goblin on an unorthodox Veigar pick, yeah, okay. Oh, and don't forget, once Aqua hit about 15 minutes, nobody survived unless they were his friend. So amazing there from the side of Boise State University. We're going to a mini Silver Scapes game 3. Woo!
Yeah, I guess you have to say the only complaint for Boise State is the questionable Dean dying to the tower early for 30 gold. He would have been perfect without that. He would have been 1-0 in, I think, 23. And so I hope that 30 gold was worth the 1 death. That's all I got to say. Because being a perfection, you talked about surrendering. You say you never surrender. Never surrender if you're in a league game. I don't care the score until everyone's died once. You just never make sure.
Any game, any day, any fight. I don't care. I agree with you, Fish, because you never know what happens.
Yeah, it sounds like production has a surprise for us, Chizu. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, no.
For me or for you?
Oh!
It's our own personal gangplank up in this Boise State broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Jared Baratel Castiglione. This is, again, people don't realize that there's like a behind-the-scenes caster Boise State like Clash team. And this is like, again, our captain, Baratel Castiglione. Give me some insight, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Luckily, coming from the jungle main, as you can see from my display right here, you got to be able to shot call. And Boise State, after that first game, they are firing on all cylinders, almost like that very robotic type Hecarim would get those kind of things set up. When you want to get things going, you just put things into overdrive, and it ends up working for you. What a second game!
Yeah, come on, Barrett. So let's get you in the middle here. Let's see all of your
Professional.
Gangplank goodness. Come on, let's get in the middle here. We want you to see all of you.
I'm gonna slide.
Oh,
There
no,
you go.
no,
I'm gonna
Not,
slide.
not the other way. Yep,
There we go.
Right there. Perfect.
There
I'm gonna
we
be
go.
honest. My window is right here, so I'm trying to block it out. Production's doing a phenomenal job right now, but like the full frame picture, it's just half of my window right here, which looks terrible. But now we're good. We got slid over. We're all set up, and I think that with this being said, we're in the middle of a very hot series going to game 3 if we could in unison, because this would be super easy to do, especially with the delay that we have. If we all together in harmony sing our version of Silver Scrapes, I think it would go lovely, right?
Oh boy. Do you think they're ready for that?
I'm
though,
kidding.
Baruto?
I don't think that's.
No,
we
you got to
need
say
be
that for a
person-
big game 5. We got to
Yeah, it's
practice
got to be
that
a
first.
big game. So
Well,
that's
while
something
we- while
can
we
look forward to.
While we contemplate that, Barrettel, let's get to the action. What do you think changed for Bay State? Because, I mean, they were in control in game 1. They kind of blew it, but they were always in control. What do you think changed for them? Because they look lost in game 2.
Well, when it came down to it, from the beginning of this game 2, it almost seemed like Boise State wanted to put their best foot forward, and I think they had 3 winning lanes, and then Hecarim to just interweave as they wanted to between those lanes to just get as much gold as they wanted to. And, you know, Vigar scaling and Goblin's doing a phenomenal job doing these 1v1s, these 1v2s here in the bottom lane. Dean's able to just forego being in that bottom lane. He was attached strictly to Aqua for about like 20 minutes straight, which as a Hecarim, you absolutely love.
Yeah, well, you got to go fast. It's the whole Sonic the Hedgehog, but in a horse style. And I do have to swallow every piece of crow that I had here. I said I don't like Goblin on a mage. I want to see him on something with crit rating. JK, there's a double kill, and he played that lane perfect. We saw a lot of 2v1s there as well that worked out in his favor. Every single lane from Boise State was looking great. And Dean just AFK jumped all game. Like as someone who has had a lot of time on the Yumi, I do appreciate it a little bit more, but I also understand just how easy mode that can be. Get 1 or 2 pieces of resource, don't look back. And I love this draft from Boise State.
And you do, I mean, I do want to mention that despite Goblin trying to pick up new things here in this bottom lane, his Vigar is, I do believe, 3 for 3 right now in terms of these matches that we've seen him play, if not 4 for 4. So he is really, really sticking to his own on this champion. It might not be the most orthodox ADC, but it's working for Boise State tremendously.
And Barrettel, I got to ask you, we're talking about where Bay State went wrong in game 2 is, what do Bay State ban in game 3? They haven't want to see the Rumble. They haven't want to see Dean Sona. I would think a Sense Lucian and now Aqua's Hecarim have to be on that phase 1 ban, at least consideration, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure, yeah. With how powerful this Hecarim has become with recent kind of power creep patches, and I like that rewind. We're going back in. That's just kind of how Boise State approached this with the amount of healing and forward pressure that Hecarim's able to exert. They're able to go in, get a pick, rewind, reset, and then go back in for another kind of attempt for elimination to get some man advantage for some map pressure. So I do think that on the board, in terms of bans, a recipe for success for Bay State will be to remove that crucial ingredient for success of that Hecarim.
Well, and I would even go so far as to basically, I want to see this Lucian gone as well. Again, something we haven't seen a whole lot other than, the 2 games that we've played, and he's done a great job. But again, that's just, me as far as the setup is concerned. And again, seeing Aqua literally run through an ADC is hilarious. I don't care what team you're on, even if that's me, that's hilarious.
I think what they should do is forego all 5 champion bans and just put like a 5 to 7 minute handicap that Aqua can't play the game for the first 5 to 7 minutes, and that way that'll be a little bit more competitive for them.
That's actually, I'm going to jump in. Sorry, I know it's not my turn, Fish. Shut up. Shh. I want to see no bans. No bans. 0 bans this game. I want it to be a full-fledged, you pick it, you play it, a full stance. It's never going to happen, but I can pretend like I want to.
Well, we're going to head into draft. We'll see if the members of each side listen to Chizu's request for no bans. But, Bertel, don't go anywhere. We're going to have you right back after the draft to break down everything that we know going into Game 3 for a potential Boise State sweep. So, Bertel's coming right back. The hearts go up, probably in chat as well. That heart's flying away. I don't know where that heart is going to. As we see the players in the arena. We see Pro Draft, Chizu, and let's see Yumi banned away by Bay State. So, I'm smelling a rumble might be on the table here because there's not enough bans in that first phase for them.
That cat has just been youthed, and I don't mean of the nation, as it looks like Zillion going to be removed here. Boise State not messing around, and Bay State right now really trying to adjust at what Boise State is throwing their way. There's the Lucian that we were talking about. 2 games in which he has run rampant through your team, and by the way, he's one of the squishier members. Boise State responding in kind, getting rid of Q Myers, Shen, and I'm sorry, Fish, maybe I could take you out to dinner to get over it. Rumble removed Anivia as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this going to be a Rumble or a Hecarim? So Hecarim's still on the table for Aqua. Unless Bay State wants to first pick it, they're going to first pick the Ashe instead. So now decision time for Boise State. Do they run back the Hecarim? I know looking at the Bay State jungler, Devil DeGray, he's had some Hecarim games in his match history as well. So I'll be very curious to see how these first 2 picks for Boise State go. For now, though, looks like Goblin run back on the Vygar.
You can't see it, but I was going up and down with my hands the whole time. I was all excited because I said, pick the Vhagar. Pick him. Grab him. Again, this is the one time as he lifts his mask and looks so good doing it, and the combo to follow. If this is what I think it is, with the Goblin on the Vhagar followed up with a Dean Morgana, I love this. The Karma response is great, but if they're going to show that they are just going to run a traditional lane, and you have something up your sleeve that absolutely smacked them in the mouth, do it again.
Looks like there's the Olaf run back. Speaking of doing it again, Devil DeGray was spectacular on that champion in Game 1. And then the Camille pick for Red Hots. I know there was some people in chat clamoring for that earlier, so he's going to pick that up. Hecarim probably, I would guess, going to be suffering to the ban phase. He'll be taken out behind the barn, I would guess, here very shortly by Bay State.
Oh, let's go! A Camille lock-in. This is what I like to see. All right. Again, Fish, not to pull rank. Excuse me. Been here just a little bit longer than you. Red Hots likes to play what?
Damage.
Just in your face doing it, right?
Yep.
Name another top laner who can sustain a lane and then pump out late game damage, let alone subjugate an individual, unless it's actually Trundle who can subjugate. But name another individual who does their job as well as Camille.
That's going to be a tough one. I don't think I can name one.
We'll see. As Azir and it looks like Galio Jack's going to be locked in here, and I like the counter plan.
Yeah, here we go for the jungle. We saw the Kindred and the Graves were banned away. I know Aqua's played a lot of Vi. I mean, we just saw what he could do on Hecarim, but of course, we don't know. And then look at this. Maybe it's not Red Hots on Camille. The Malphite might be. I mean, he can jungle. I love to play me some full AP Malphite jungle, but he can also go top lane. We saw Malphite kind of dominate, or Red Hots kind of dominate on that to start this 4-game winning streak for Boise State. So I'll be curious to see where this Camille and this Malphite end up when we do get into the game.
Fish, you got yourself a little picture there of the arcade cabinet. May or may not be the idea of Boise State. Just rush on in, pull a little Hadoken or two, and see what happens. But I do like the idea and the possible flex of Camille into the Malphite. Where is the jungle side of that? Probably Camille in the jungle. Malphite more than likely top. We've seen Red Hots do absolute decimation. Dare I even say, it's rock solid.
Can you smell what the Rock is cooking, Chizu? We'll have to see if Boise State can. It is going to be Bay State versus Boise State. This is winner take all. Game 3 between these two teams. Boise State coming back with a great win in game 2. And here's Doc's keys to the game for the winner take all. Know your trades. Play for that level spike. Malphite level 6 screaming at you there. Time management and never take a fair fight. There won't be a Yumi roaming around, but teleport, Malphite, maybe flashing a wall, unstoppable force. Got to watch out for those as well. It's all brought to you by Count, who thanks to their Identity Trust Global Network can deliver real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables a custom user experience for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. Their award-winning AI analyzes probably more interactions than Chizu and I can count to, because it's 32 billion. We'd be here forever if we tried. So check them out, count.com, for more information. And Chizu, we are going to head right back over to Baratel's being told red light district potentially. I don't know if that's what he wants, but
you can't say that. No.
That's what production told me. Production said we're going to the red light district, and I was like, oh.
If you see the red light, it's similar to that
this.
of Krispy Kreme. If you see the red light on, there's some fresh pasta cooking in the kitchen. Come on by, get some bolognese, whatever you need. I'll be able to provide it to you. Just like Boise State is providing a tasty, tasty draft. Holy cow, Camille Jungle? I'm placing all my pasta noodles on that one.
But Krispy Kreme doesn't make pasta. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, but I do, Chizu. I do.
You know what? I'm gonna have to say, you know, you're betting all your pasta noodles on that. I want to say, give me the personal spice. Put my pasta noodles on the Malphite leaning AP jungle, because we know Aqua loves to be aggressive. And what's more aggressive than farm till 6? Hey, I have unstoppable force. How's being dead? Any lane I want.
No. You're both wrong. It's all about the meat, the sauce. It's all about hitting the R button and watching your opponent disappear, as Goblin is going to continue to do what they saw before.
You guys don't think it's Vygar jungle then?
No
chance?
No, I don't think so. That's probably the only guarantee I have.
That's fair. Because when it comes down to it, this is kind of synonymous with this past weekend, Fnatic pulling out like Zillion Top into the Hecarim jungle, kind of just trying to accentuate the strengths of the team in general. Boise State, their strength right now is being proactive in this series. They are the ones, when they do put their best foot forward, put their foot on the gas pedal, all the euphemisms you can use, they're the ones that come out on top, because they're the ones making the plays, forcing Bay State to react. And I think that that's an argument that can be made for each team. Whatever team's able to make those decisions first with the entire commitment of their whole squad, that's the team that's going to be reigning supreme here at the end of the series.
Well, it doesn't even feel like it's the whole squad that's needed. It's just the odd man numbers. It's one of those situations where you don't realize, oh, wait a minute, that Hecarim's jumping in with a Yumi. Why are we all ulted down? Aw, sad day. Well, as far as the last game was concerned. And I do agree with you 100%, Baratel. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy, Cobra Kai.
And I do have to say, Baratel, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but game 1, Devil de Grey on that Olaf really started to pop off, and they had the global presence of the Shen. Is it potentially the same story with the Galio instead of the Shen having that global ultimate to say, hey, Olaf's in the back line, here I come, Heroes United, right on everybody for Boise State?
For sure. I mean, oftentimes when you look at an Olaf draft specifically, you want to put as many resources into that potential late game carry as possible. And it's not resources that you would think that are normal. It's not like a funnel comp or anything like that. You just want to be able to use Olaf as a delivery system for the entire team. You have Shen. You often have in tandem with that, you know, Galio. Sometimes even like if you're going to throw things super off the wall, like a top lane rumble, things that are able to make Olaf's engage the single target thing that it is, an AoE team fight or an AoE kind of cataclysmic area for your enemy.
Yeah, you know, this basic entire team fight situation. Sure, the early game was great. Q Meyer here getting outplayed, but it was pretty much brought to you by the letter Q, followed by the letter are. It didn't matter what Boise State needed. Those situations alone allowed for Boise State to do what they needed to do. Followed up the cage. You got a Q, you got an R, there's another Q, another R. Boise State only needed 2 keys that entire game.
You got to respect the attempt from Bay State, their last draft from game 2. You can see what direction they were wanting to go. You have the Senna ult, you have Bard with the Victor ultimate as well, and then Wukong to keep everyone in place. But as you can see, Boise State continuing to pick the man advantage fights, never playing a fair fight, similar to that of one of the Doc's keys to the game. They never let Bay State group up in the way that they wanted to play their team comp, and that's where things started falling behind for them.
It was almost like they just didn't let Bay State group up. It was always a fight in their favor. And Goblin, again, pulling all of that aggro, whether it was on the bottom side or a fight right here. He has 3 individuals eyeballing him. Meanwhile, you have the cannonball known as Uncle Horsey.
You know, the one thing I am sort of curious on is I think Boise State, and we've seen it throughout this year, this team goes when Aqua has early pressure so that he can get to the point where Exakai literally just didn't even get to play the game there. How early, if it is Camille Jungle Beartail, does he need to start making plays to enable Boise State to win lanes? Because on that Skarner, you can't really gank before 6, and I felt like that's where Boise State struggled. So how early can he go in on Camille? Could he red buff into Cheese level 2 potentially?
Unfortunately, with the way that Camille is right now in the state of the game, her jungle clears not healthy. If she goes through the first 2 camps, she's going to be probably, a player such as Aqua is going to be able to sustain maybe 50 to 60% health. But you're not going to be at a health total that is comfortable enough for you to gank. Albeit we've seen crazier things from this Boise State squad. It's not optimal for Camille to gank before like level 3, so to speak. You got hook shot, you got the Q there, and then of course the slow with the W to keep everything all in place. Camille, once she gets attached to a wall, it's hard for her to hard for teams to predict where she's going to leap into, creating that stun. And if she's ganking a lane that already has a source of crowd control, being able to layer that together, that might be the edge that Boise State uses to capitalize and push this Camille further ahead. But I really wouldn't see typically any action happening from Camille till about level 4 to 6, pretty much.
Well, we'll have to see if that is correct. Beartail, thank you so much for joining us. We'll hope we see you back after Game 3, but you have done more than enough to brighten at least my day. I don't know if I want to speak for Chizu, but I'm just glad we got you on here. I'm glad we got to go to the Beartail Red Light District.
Of course,
he's going to yell at me later in our scrims. That's why I'm not happy about it.
Well, Beartail, good luck at your secondary job here as the voice of chat as we load all up into the game. It is going to be the Camille jungle that you guys were predicting, so I will be a bit sad as it is the top lane Malphite, but Red Hots has played that phenomenally. And actually, Chizu, speaking of cheese almost, that's a top lane Olaf.
Yeah, interesting.des.jpg. If there's anyone to bring it on out, it's my boy Q Meyer. Again, I'm a little bit of a fanboy, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. Just having the honor to, cast one of my favorite players is part of it all. So it's been a conflicting situation for me, as I love both of these teams more than I care to admit. But as far as the early game is concerned, nothing super janky other than a pause! Come on! Come on! Sorry, I was upset because I didn't want this game to last 90 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just hoping this isn't a player lost power, we're now shuttling him to a new house, BRB in 45 minutes, that some of us might have to deal with over the weekend. But yeah, hopefully everything gets settled up here very quickly. But yeah, we did see someone in chat mention Camille Jungle really good at solo camp, so potentially maybe a buff steal in the works for Aqua. Of course, very, very aggressive player, has gone some games without even using Flash, so this is going to be very interesting. But hey, while you're waiting, say you missed Game 1, say you missed any of Boise State's 4-game win streak in League of Legends, by the way, hit the follow button. Check out when we're going to go live. Maybe even hit the subscribe button if you want to see past broadcasts, because there's a lot in the works. Maybe we'll get the schedule on screen here depending on how long the pause is. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case because we're right back in. But hit the follow button. Know when we go live, because there's a lot of League of Legends. And by the way, my favorite series on this Twitch channel comes up on Friday. You want to be notified when that goes live.
Also, don't forget, if you have free Amazon Prime, you can do it for free.
Just throw that out there. I wanted to do my
announcer voice because I don't get to do it very often.
It's the nice little PSA. Hey, if you have Twitch Prime, you can do it for free. As we get into the game, we do have Conqueror on the top and mid for Bay State, the Spellbook for Cow in the mid. We'll see what he wants to do to there. We do have the Cleanse on the Ashe as well, so we're going to be seeing how that's going to be used for Bay State as a immediate flash away by Admiral Potato. Saw that gank coming.
Yeah, that was, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. First off, I just wanted to talk about the overall situation as far as the game is concerned, but that is a 2.5-minute flash just from showing up into lane. LOL smiley face, that's where those taunts and those emotes come out.
Yeah, just as chat predicted there, does look like Aqua has jumped on to Devil the Gray's red buff there, but we do see Devil the Gray is rotating down. We'll see if the camera wants to pan over because we might have a smite fight on our hands. Ton of action here. It is. Nice job by Aqua. He's going to get stunned though.
Nice smite to win that one out, and now goes the fight. By the way, Boise State is here. Nice flash and kill secured, as I like to call it, from Ascent, despite the fact their jungler did all that work.
I think Aqua will take it, though. You always want to love extra kill participation. Speaking of that.
By the way, how about back out of your lane? Sorry to cut you off again. It's like we can't even gather our thoughts. I can't even imagine how Bay State feels as Boise State finds a second in the mid lane, a 60-second later.
Teleport going to be used there by Cow. I don't think he's going to do anything more than just try and not miss the minion waves. But yeah, Boise State will take that. 2 kills. A couple of assists on Aqua, and as we talked about, Goblin, though, got to be careful. I thought that was actually someone else. That was actually Dean rotating down, excuse me. But yeah, Aqua, when he ganks early, this team does well, and he's already got 2 assists at 3.5 minutes.
And you see the barrel show up. It says actually block the Galio Justice Punch. Absolutely something I was about to highlight. Again, big shout outs to the Red Light District with Baratel himself. Again, just Goblin. All Goblin needs to do is just hit his Q. All he has to do is stack, survive, let Dean go wherever he wants. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, experience is showing. You do have Q-Meyer, again, an individual who has been in the LCS, going up against Red Hots, and Red Hots is doing an okay job until you look at the CS.
Yeah, but I don't, Red Hot's whole goal for this team, hit level 6, and then all unstoppable for somebody, secure a kill. He was keeping up in experience until he had to back for some HP, fill up that corrupting potion. He'll teleport back in. So yeah, I don't think he'll mind too much losing to a former LCS pro as long as he gets to hit that unstoppable force. Maybe even get a kill on him, and that's all that really matters.
Absolutely, and again, I love the early aggression here from Boise State. We told them to put the pedal to the metal. A little bit of Metallica fuel and fire, if you will. But they are able to find an early set of kills. They're almost 1,000 gold up at 5 minutes in.
And I will say, Red Hot's doing a nice job poking down the Olaf, setting himself up for potentially an unstoppable force at 6 for the kill. We do see Devil the Grey hanging around there, though, trying to, at least keep his top laner alive. And you have to also be careful. Cow hitting level 5 as soon as he hit level 6. The rest of Boise State has to be concerned. He can go wherever he wanted with the Hero United. He also did use Spellbook, taking that teleport just to get back to lane.
Yeah, and a big thank you to all of you who are just now joining us. One aside, Bay State, Boise State. Whoever wins this wins the series. It started with Bay State in a 45, almost 50-minute game that ran everything long. But Boise State found a beautiful second round there. So again, just a show match between these two teams just to see where the current state of their existence is. And right now, it is even keel. Devil the Grey, what are you doing? No! Oh, no. All right, well, I'm out of here. Bye, everybody. Later. Bye. Bye.
Devil the Grey type. Devil the Grey gets the message. It's too early in the game to surrender. That's how you feel. I will say,
I'm out of here. I don't know what you're saying.
I am a little sad as we see a nice streak was shuffled by Ascent. Cal gonna get jumped on there by Aqua. That's gonna be another elimination thanks to the windshield wiper as we wait for Chizu to come back. He is cringing in embarrassment for Devil the Grey. I have not seen someone die to Wolves in a long time. I will say, a little saddened that they took away the global message when you die to minions. Just tells your own team.
Oh man, I'm trying not to be mean, but that is a super oops. That is a top tier oops, and I'm going to explain why. It's not that you just died. It's not that you just died to the wolf camp. It's that you have given information over to the rest of the opposing team. And what happened? Immediately, Boise State rotates in towards the mid lane and destroys whoever was remaining. Technically a 4v5, and Boise State takes that information and runs with it.
I'm just still blown away that someone died to a jungle camp, honestly. Like, that's like...
I'm gonna go play jungle tonight. Screw that. I'm out of support. It's okay now.
Hey, that's something, you know, hey, I'm on my Smurf, I'm pre-level 10, I don't have any runes, so jungle's gonna be hard, but you have to jungle because the meta requires it. Like, that's the last time I saw someone die to a jungle camp.
But no, I played that one game just the other day that, never mind. Anyways, a nice binding is going to land, and I love the hard CC combo here on the bottom side. And so far, ADC versus AP, ADC as I'm now calling it, able to sustain this bottom side. So once we get to the overall, it'll be about who can pump out the most damage the fastest. And by the way, Vagar's able to do so with the press of the button.
We do see it looks like Devil the Grey maybe setting up a lane gank here under Red Hot. Red Hot has the ult, but mana always a concern for that Malphite out of Corrupting Potions. The undertow being just spammed there by Q Meyer. And Red Hot's got to be careful, as we also see Galio is rotating up her potential ult.
Oh, I love the black shield on top of it. In comes the W. A flash is going to be burned there from Goblin. That was one of the things I kind of wanted to bring up about this top lane. Red Hot has no mana. When was the last time you were like, you know what's cool? Diving in with no mana. I don't think this is going to happen. Meanwhile, Devil the Grey is like, you know, this bush is comfy. This is my home. Nope, never mind. I'm actually gonna go back home and do something a little bit more useful with my time. As Ascent as well as Aqua are able to find him. What a hook shot to the Hextech Ultimatum, and it looks like Cow is no longer for this world. What a great setup, a beautiful flash into the Ultimatum. That looks awesome from Aqua. I want that clip right now.
And as the story's been the first few games, Boise State with another potentially uncontested early dragon. This time, the first time the Infernal Drake has graced us with his presence on the Rift. Ward going to go over the wall, at least a Q shot from Karma, but I don't think anything's going to come of it. That should be an easy smite for Aqua. And Boise State once again dominating the early game. The Scold lead should build to nearly 2K, about 1,500 after that dragon.
Aqua takes a Q to the face. It could have very easily taken that drag. We'd have to look at numbers again, but great awareness to stand in the way. The pucker moment, as I like to call it, or the grit is where he has less than 100 health after the fact. Hopefully and thankfully that dragon did not take him out. Meanwhile, Goblin just poking away, Dean in the wings, but the lockdown from the Q, follow it up with the cage. This bottom side is disgusting as they continue to move on.
Yeah, we do see Cal sitting at 0-3. The stopwatch from the talents there should be coming online here in about a minute or so, so at least he'll have some reprieve from the continued gank he has been receiving this game, but we'll see if Boise State can maybe make it 0-4 before that finally loads in. We see the Stinger being completed there by Ascent, Lost Chapter being finished there on the bot lane by Goblin. Of course, you see the Bramble Vest finished by Red Hot there, trying to slow down some of that healing that Q-Meyer can do on that Olaf. And other than that, looks like a jungle item finished for Aqua, and nothing but a Ruby Crystal for poor Devil the Grey, who, in case you missed it, did fall to the Wolf Camp earlier today.
No, I didn't miss it. It's in the highlight reel. Oh, we put that there, right? Oh, look at that. But my favorite ever, the OK Ramus taunt. I guess that, you know, will give you something. I did want to highlight kind of the situation. 3 long swords picked up there from Camille. You like damage? How about tons of it as they move over here? And it looks like Devil as well as Q-Meyer are going to be able to pick up a Rift Herald uncontested. It's a little bit better than you would expect. But the one thing I needed to highlight, 100% still participation, 314, 312 even, for the side of Camille. Aqua looking great in this early game.
Yeah, Red Hot's got to be careful there. The Shelly going to be summoned up in the top lane. This could be a potential tower dive, but he should have enough mana to unstoppable force should things go awry.
Sure, and that was one of the things. Again, I've noticed a lot of, I don't know how to explain this, like hit similarities. Oh, meanwhile, it's the Kai gonna get hit, forcing a flash teleport in there on the bottom side. Boise State will respond. An Enchanted Arrow comes in, but so does the ultimate from Malphite. Boise State taking a lot of damage. Red Hot's going to be locked down. They're not going to find anything. A lot of the summoner spells expended and nothing doing it. Meanwhile, top side, for the side of Bay State, they're going to find themselves an easy first turret.
Yeah, Bay State will take that trade any day of the week. I think Red Hots had to assume he was getting a kill there because he knew his tower was being pressured. So unfortunately for Boise State, losing that teleport advantage, at least on the top side. They did trade it for the mid teleport from Cal. Gonna cost them, as you mentioned, the first turret, and you do see that's the one lane that if you're a Boise State fan is gonna give you shudders. You see the nearly 50 CS lead for Q-Meyer over Red Hots. That's still going to be a scary Olaf, and it's going to be on a former LCS pro who's going to know how to find a target when he needs to in a team fight.
It's one of those things, like we were talking about with Baratel being our captain. He's like, oh, this is how you do everything. And you're like, you're wrong. And then he does it. That is a perfect example of experience showing out. Boise State thinks they have a play. They have a great situation. They will get a catch here. Act like I thought Aqua going to be accredited another one fighting 2-on-3, but that top lane absolutely disappeared the second Boise State let it go. What seemed like a weird situation a handful of minutes ago when we watched the jungler absolutely sit there and just see what happens for a minute and a half, they're able to capitalize on that. So what seemed like a waste of time actually becomes a pretty solid setup for the side of the Bay State.
Yeah, definitely, you know, as a jungler, you find your anchor and you latch onto it, and I think that is going to be Q-Meyer, who might have to drag the team at least into the mid-game. As you see right now, Boise State 5-0, nearing a 2K gold lead. Both Azir and the Camille, full kill participation, 2-0-3 on both of them. The Nashor's Tooth finished, some rings on Ascent, and then some swords being shown by Aqua, flashing his potential wares that he might have for sale should you have the coin. In Boise State right now, you've got to love it, but you've just got to be scared if the tower dive goes into Exake.
Oh yeah, and they don't even care. Aqua's like, hey, how are you? Have my AoE. They're even gonna get the word out because why not? And over the wall again, they will find their karma. Hero's Entrance being flashed out, but Goblin is able to lock down one. He's gonna be forced to flash as well, as it looks like Cal is able to come in. Unfortunately, Goblin is the one left to fend for himself, not able to do so. Meanwhile, Red Hot's going up against Q-Meyer here, is looking for a way out. Q-Meyer just gonna keep throwing axes. Eventually, he might actually land one, but it looks like the rock gonna come out and slow him down. No Ragnarok to stop that.
The question mark ping's coming out. Ocean Drake has spawned. Teleport gonna come in as well as the Crystalline Arrow, and Aqua's very low.
Oh man, the teleport coming on in. Quas is there, bop, bop, and it looks like Cal is going to jump in as well with a flash. Not able to get the taunt, but is able to get some damage down. A forced flash there from Dean as well as Goblin. Means Boise State burns a bunch of summoner spells just to make sure they don't see a gray screen here. But they continue on, continue to push, and now Boise State setting up for this next Drake.
Double the Grey gonna steal that one away while Boise State was waiting. Aqua is not respawned, so no sense of smite as the mountain once again will rise similar to game one. So prepare yourself, Shizu. This could be 50 minutes all over again. I will say, Boise State forced Double the Grey onto the Cinderholt Jax. Probably not what he imagined when he picked Jax here in the champion select screen.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I was kind of looking for as far as the overall is concerned. I can't really tell you the last time I saw a Jax jungle. He does a really good job on the solo side, and I don't disagree with his kit whatsoever, but it has been a while. Ascent! Everyone look away! Click away from that! Click away! Don't look at... Thank you. Thank you. That's all we needed to see. Much like dying to your wolf, just don't look at what happened.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe Bay State was trying to get a little cheeky when they saw the Camille, and, you know, Q-Meyer said, all right, hey, I can beat that, and then Boise State said, here's Malphite, and they kind of confused Bay State. But yeah, Jax jungle, especially with an Olaf already on your team, not something you expect, but Aqua, Admiral Potato didn't expect that.
He's gonna get dropped in on. Hextech Ultimatum. Red Hots is just there, but we have so many shots coming in. A great ultimate by Sakai there is going to hit absolutely nothing. Boise State will get out with a 1-for-1 exchange. Support for a jungler, so that is a little bit in Bay State's favor, but not the top of the list.
Nice black shield there from Dean to dodge. The taunt is on a ward, but he should be able to get away. And yeah, this is the part I was scared about. You see 150 CS on that Olaf. He has his Tiamat finish as well. He is going to go wherever he wants, and I'm not sure Boise State's going to be able to stop him, but not on that Shen this time means Boise State might be able to force more fights when he is pushing in another lane.
Listen, he's not a Mundo. He can't entirely go where he pleases. Boise State just has to be a little bit more aware of what's going on. Cal looking for something here. Gonna burn his taunt. Just throws up the Fizz emote. He knows that didn't really find anything, but had an opportunity given the chance. He does have at least the exhaust up to probably lock somebody down and pick up something there for Bay State, but instead it looks like Boise will have the, I will say, vision advantage leading into this next Drake.
And the one thing that also concerns me about this Olaf is we've seen a lot of times Goblin's just sort of done his own thing, been in a solo lane, matched up with whoever else is in that solo lane. Usually it was Sake on the AD carry. I don't think Vygar's going to like going against an Olaf, especially an Olaf that's level 12, highest in the game, and oh, by the way, has the most CS in the game. So that's going to make that split push answering almost entirely on Red Hot. So this could come down to whichever team's top laner has teleport available when a fight breaks out.
Yeah, and that will lead to the major objectives as well, finding pivotal picks when that teleport is down. Sure, Q-Meyer is able to find yet another tower for the side of Big State. Boise State just falling behind on one, but those are only Olaf towers at this point. If Boise State is able to remove him from the map, what else do you really have?
Not much. I mean, you've got a 2-2 Jax who started out tanky. He's finishing his Tiamat. See the Blade of the Rune King finished on the Ash there. You, of course, Galio going to have the Proto Belt, going to go more of that supporty sort of mid lane with the Heroes United to get the knock up and the taunt. So yeah, I mean, if you can pick fights while Olaf's not there, yeah, he might get a tower, but you're going to win fights and you're going to be able to push and respond. So I think this is going to 100% be how does Bay State play around Q-Meyer? How does he communicate to his team as Boise State's going to pick up Rifttail right before Baron spawn?
Well, and another thing to really consider is that the, post-14 Shelly is not worth nearly as much. The gold plates are gone. What are you going to do other than stabilize the bleeding, as I like to say? Put, a Band-Aid over something that needs stitches at this point. The gold is within 1,000, not a sizable lead, especially when it comes to these two teams who we have seen overcome insurmountable goals from my own mouth itself. So again, a tower dropping there from the side of Boise State. Do we have a fight, a Shurima shuffle? They'll just take down this tower that's basically free.
That's some extra gold, I guess, over to Bay State if you want to think, trying to close that 1,500 gold lead. And yeah, I mean, you're right, Shelly does lose some value, but if you can get maybe 2 charges off in a lane where no one can go answer, maybe that's where you get it. Bot lane, maybe you get a charge onto the inhibitor turret. That might be what Boise State has to set up for, but I agree with you, Chizu. That second Rift Herald usually loses a lot of value unless you can use it to pressure an objective while Dragon is spawning, which, by the way, there's that yellow tower and there's the teleports.
Turn and burn. They don't even know Red Hot is here. Just kidding. Now they do. Boise State, Q-Meyer has the patience of a god. A lockdown as Cal is going to be put into place. Red Hots with the flash, the ultimate. Here comes the hook shot. They are in on the back lane. Hextech Ultimatum comes out. Aqua is able to find one, but not a second. And it looks like Q-Meyer able to find one himself. Aqua is going to be brought down as Cal is also going to find one. Meanwhile, Goblin is the most menacing menace, is able to find one. Just kidding, Dean gonna take that. Exhaust is also dropped. Cal, look at him the wrong way. That's all you need to do is Boise State with the numbers here, looking to do what they can. They are gonna push out Devil. They are going to make sure they have the vision, and they will be able to reset for the situation in just a matter of seconds. Just kidding, why lead? Let's continue on.
One thing to note as the Hawkshot comes through, Q-Meyer has the teleport, and he is up and online as another fight breaks out.
A double teleport coming in as Cal is able to find one. Devil degrades the other. Boise State has overstayed their welcome, and the jungle who died at minute 5 is able to find a double and a drink for Bay State.
Boise State, do they want to keep this fight going?
I guess we'll see. It does not look like that is going to be the case. They have given up the Drake. Never mind, an ultimate came through. That was an Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but it looks like Aqua is going to get locked down there by Admirable Potato. Now we will call it even. Everyone go home and think about what you just done.
Second dragon picked up for Bay State there. First of what could be a potential soul for the Earth Dragon there, so that's going to make them a bit more tanky. And we do see, as you mentioned, the Jax who died at level 5 now sitting at 4 and 2. Olaf at 3 and 1 has his Black Cleaver and his Titanic Hydra finish there, and just pacing the game right now. 198 CS. I will say Ascent is close at 192, and then there's a big gap, but nice. You have to assume Q's farm on the Vygar there for Goblin, so you have to like Boise State's chances, but Q-Meyer kind of had his wishes. As you mentioned, Cheezy, the most patient man ever, sitting in that double warded bush, waiting, and then jumped in on the back line, and Boise State found in a split fight as Red Hot gets caught out.
Yeah, it's one of the things that you do have to consider moving into this is who's got the lead and who is going to use it to their advantage. Right now, Boise State may not necessarily be winning the overall CS lead, but they do have a slight advantage in the kill lead. Right now, this game looking super close at 1.1, and right now, Boise State's eyeballing a Baron. Is this going to be something they'll be able to commit on? It is being eviscerated, shredded, and put through the ringer. A free Baron for Boise State. Not even a hawk shot in sight.
Yeah, Boise State knew that there was 2 members bot lane when Q-Meyer and Devil DeGray tried to jump on the Red Hots. He was able to unstoppable force out to his safety, and they said, all right, we know teleport's on cooldown. We know Jax doesn't have teleport. Let's force this Baron. I love that call by Boise State. I love the full committal to the burn. Let's just see how fast we can knock this out with a decently fed Vygar and a decently fed Azir. So a great job by Boise State. Now the question becomes, what can they do with the 2 minutes and 30 seconds of this crucial Baron?
Yeah, like I said, I would love to see the amount of stacks on Vagar. I know we don't have access to that right now, but I can only imagine if he looks at someone with a stern raising of the eyebrow, at least 50% of their health is going to be gone. Take the Azir, Ascent is able to continue to push this lane and is allowing Boise State to what appears to be pick up some more resource here in the mid lane. Bay State wants to split push. If they're just, I guess we'll say kamikaze mid lane, there's nothing that this Olaf can do that will be beneficial to the side of Bay State.
Yeah, it does look like Boise State also shoving in the bot side there as the pings are coming out. This could be a collapse by Bay State.
Yeah, it looks like Q is going to jump in here, but Red Hots is okay. Heroic entrance coming through. Great jump out there using the ultimate from Red Hots, as it looks like the rest of Boise State is looking to jump in. A great Justice Punch, but the Hextech ultimatum says, you shall not pass! As it looks like Boise State with low health bars just want to pressure this tower. Meanwhile, Bay State is running with their tail between their legs, and none of them actually have anthropomorphic tails. But hey, it works out here as Boise State will find a bottom lane turret with that Baron buff and continue their massive pressure here into the enemy base.
Looks like this should be a free potential mid inhibitor, splitting up the resources of Bay State. There's the mid inhibitor for Boise State. They'll love those super minions pushing. Curious to see if they'll want to rotate down into the bot lane or if they're just going to be content to back off. The crucial Baron fades, and we do see Aqua playing like a madman. He's insane. The plays Aqua make on any jungler, you're just kind of like, wow, I didn't even know jungle was capable. I thought they just played tanks and kind of ate all the damage.
Well, and I really thought that when he jumped in, that was that. It seemed like an absolutely lopsided fight. Justice Punch came in, the taunt to follow. Drops the Hextech ultimatum to clear out all of that. Never mind, you're stuck in here with me, JKLOL. Aqua jumping in is going to get taunted down, but the shield is enough to have him feel confident to move forward in that exchange, but is able to move back on out.
You can see the split push, though, starting to be set up by the side of Bay State. Trinity Force finished on Devil DeGray on that Jax, just sort of up in the top lane, doing his own thing, thanks to that Tiamat as well. You can also see now the Sterix Gage finished on Q-Meyer, have the Banshee's Veil and the Proto Belt on Cal, so he is going full support. Blade of the Rune King and it looks like a Zeal being built there for Exaki. So Boise State got to be wary now of that split push from Jackson Olaf, because that feels like that's how Bay State thinks they're going to win this game, as we do see a second Dragon should go to Boise State for free.
I'm sorry, just stop everything. Pause the game. Did you say Sterix Gage?
Yeah, you know, if you're going to call me out for Boise, I'm just going to invent new names for everything, Chizu.
This is why I love you, my lane partner, until to death. As Boise State finds an equalizing second mountain break there, the back of the Ngage, if you will. In jumps Devil here, is going to be Shurima shuffled out as Q-Man is going to come through. What a great flash there from Ascent. An ultimate is going to lock down Count. Oh, and by the way, the Rage Cage says, have a nice day, as Boise State will find yet another one there. They are looking to close this out. A flash move from Sakai, and it was all of the hook shot for free from Aqua. Why not teleport into the enemy base? Make them really pay for what you've already done. Goblin, Flash, Cade is not going to find it. I don't think Ragnarok is here. Q Meyer gets the 4v1, and Nina Reno says...
Yeah, Boise State absolutely turning that play on Bay State's head. A huge flash by Ascent to escape the flash from Q-Meyer. All the teleports coming in. Great job by Red Hots timing it so it landed on Cow as soon as his teleport landed. And then that was just a dead Galio. So Boise State playing that one perfectly. Unfortunately, I guess your only complaint, didn't really get anything else in the process. Tried to teleport mid to finish the game, but the backs came in. They will pick up the Tier 2 top tower, but still a long way to go for Boise State here, as they only have super minions in one lane.
Oh yeah, this game is looking pretty devastating. So we have seen larger differentials and different changes, but Boise State, just once they get a lead, they do not relent. Bay State again had a lead. That game went back and forth. They were able to throw it. Ascent, however, is going to be caught out here by the Jax, is able to use, oh, what a great flash. Heroes entrance, go ahead. Use another ultimate to find one other individual from Boise State. Right now, Bay State is looking for any way towards this Baron, and right now, Goblin could be the flaw here, but the rest of the team is there. Nice enchanted arrow hits absolutely nothing all the way through the map, so Boise State will feel great knowing that huge ultimate is nowhere to be seen. They could even move towards this Baron.
Yeah, that's going to allow Boise State to get pressure back on the Baron. Ascent, though, still has 16 seconds and counting down till he's able to join again. Won't have teleport, so kind of shocked Bay State didn't want to force that. I would have thought maybe Boise State allows the Baron, or at least maybe fakes allows the Baron and has somebody split pushing bot lane, but I guess with no teleports up, that would explain why that was potentially a bad play. But yeah, Boise State has fully taken vision control around Baron. They might be setting themselves up for their second Baron of the game, and we're not even at 30 minutes. They start to burn it down.
Yeah, and this is Boise State's game right now. All they have to do is continue on. The ultimates are down. They know they have free reign. What is Q-Meyer going to do other than take damage, in which Boise State is more than willing to peel out? And they are going to peel away from the Baron, probably more than anything to clear out the vision, to really guarantee, just kidding, Aqua wants to buy some stuff.
Hey, you know what? Buy some stuff, make the Baron go down faster. Finishes the Ravenous Hydra there, has the Triforce as well. You could see Ascent now also sitting on his Void Staff there, trying to have some extra magic damage with the Leandries and the Nashor's Tooth. Void Staff also finished for Goblin there as well. I would assume both those AP carries working on accenting themselves with a nice purple little hat to go forward later in this game. And Boise State right now, this might be another Baron call, and this time I bet you they fully commit to it.
But yeah, again, they are taking a look at the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is up, so it is a scarier situation than previously thought. They are burning this as quick as possible. They will find it. The question is there a fight after the fact? Just kidding, Bay State, tail between their legs, going to find the turtle maneuver here as they walk all the way back to their base.
And now the question becomes, what can Boise State push with the crucial Baron? There is an exposed inhibitor in the mid lane, and then there are a top and bottom inhibitor that have a turret standing in front of them. But with those Baron empowered minions, not going to be too much of an issue. Devil the Grey going to come back. He has that Spirit Massage now to try and survive the magic damage for Boise State, but the Broncos content just letting that empowered cannon minion shoot from out of range and slowly but surely whittle down the top turret.
I'm going to say it again, that cannon minion's definitely using the old neener, you can't get me. As the rest of Boise State will continue to push wave after wave after wave on that top side. Meanwhile, Aqua says, thanks inhibitor, I will take that for myself. And now a fight has broken out. The hero's entrance will find absolutely nobody. How many ultimates can you burn? A teleport as well? Wait, what is going on here? There's no teleport. They're coming back to base, but meanwhile, Aqua is backdooring. Okay. Trying to figure out what in the world was actually going on there. Meanwhile, Aqua is going to Hextech Ultimatum. Bye-bye, former LCS pro. 1v4, walking underneath the tower, going to flash out, allow for the minions to finish this game. They're going to find the Nexus with the help of the rest of the team. So, GGWP. See you next time. Bay State.
Boise State, once again, I think the second time during this now 5-game win streak, they've dropped game 1 and managed to claw back for a mini reverse sweep. Boise State victorious, Red Hots and Goblin relishing in the victory there. Hopefully Goblin not too excited that he'll just fully punch through the window shield. As you mentioned, Chizu nearly knocked it over at the start. There you go, there's the wave. They're excited. We have to be excited, Chizu, as well. 50-minute game that didn't go Boise State's way. They said, we got you. Let's win the next 2 in less than 50 combined.
Man, this is such a conflicting day for me. It's one of those situations where if my heart had to go one way, it was to Red Hots, the guy who I've probably connected with more over the years than anything else, from when he was in mid lane to being moved into that top lane. Now he goes head to head with a literal icon of mine. And sure, while the CS did not matter as far as the overall is concerned, we all know that Q won that one. But just to see that come together personally for me as a caster was absolutely mind-blowing. The score lines don't necessarily matter because both teams played their butts off today, and that's what I like to see.
Yeah, and I mean the resiliency for Boise State to absorb that game 1 where they had clawed all the way back and then to just get their hearts ripped out at Elder Dragon, to be able to basically just say, game 2's ours, see you in game 3, because they just took over. And then game 3, that great backdoor by Aqua there, stopping the backs by Boise State. So great job by Boise State in the 2-1 series victory. But before we wrap things up, we always have to have our Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. And Chizu, I know you were praising Red Hots. A prediction maybe for your player of the game? No, there's the no shake.
No, I'm going to give that one over to Aqua. I would give it over to Dean based on game number 2's performance alone. Red Hots knows I love him. Like, that's the other side of this. So I can confidently say the fact of the matter remains Aqua had an absolutely phenomenal series. Whether it was in the loss or the overall 100% kill participation in the early minutes, followed by full-fledged final fights that absolutely mattered. Game 1 was just happenstance.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I would have to just really agree with you. I mean, I'd love to say Ascent. I know he put on a huge performance in game 1, but then once Aqua took over, that was really the thing. So yeah, I'd have to say it has to go to Aqua, because game 2, he really just said, hey, I'm taking over. Dean, hop on the saddle. Let's go for a ride. And then game 3 on that Camille, fooling all of us, was just spectacular as well. But I mean, like you said, Dean probably deserves one for game 2. Ascent deserves one for game 1. You could say Red Hots on that Ornn in game 2 was also spectacular in allowing Boise State to win. But yeah, I have to agree. Aqua's probably my nomination as well.
Absolutely. And now the powers that be will give us the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game.
Gonna go to Ascent, which you can't disagree with. I thought he was spectacular, especially in that game 1, but usually when you play well in a loss, people forget about it, but not the production side. They're going to give it to Ascent in that nice little top hat they've added to it.
Now listen, I get it. My mid lane carried the game. I'm so strong. I'm so cool. But look at Aqua right here. Flash over, psych, just kidding. I'm going to give that over to my mid laner. Not that I ever disagree with production, ever. But this is one where I will say Aqua got robbed. Ascent had a great game, but I feel like that was off the back off of my boy Aqua. But Ascent, again, like we mentioned, that Rumble to Lucian kind of setup was just beautiful. Wait a minute, who are we zooming in on here? Who's Skarner? wait a minute, that's weird. That's my boy Aqua.
Well, you get. Can you? I just want to address the L. What is that in the room? What is on his shirt? Is that a hand-drawn dragon? Ostrich?
No, that's a Boise State dragon. I think it's a Bronco that was drawn on. But like at least it's not Aqua's Canadian money. At least that shows a value that is not reduced by 33% when you cross the border.
Well, regardless, Ascent is our Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Idaho Central Credit Union, who is a great team, makes a great player, makes a team more successful, just like they're helping their members achieve financial success. Ascent, despite the pleas from Chizu, is our Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. But I think we can all agree, no matter who appeared, except for maybe Chizu not wanting Aqua, or wanting Aqua, I should say, we could have been happy because every player played really, really well for Boise State.
Yo, like straight up, again, not to drop all professionalism, but tie-off situation, this was easily one of the best 3 matches I have ever seen with this desk. Of course, I've got my boy Fish here, I've got my Boise State production, but as far as the players on the field of justice, this really felt like the first true, real knockdown, drag 'em out of a very long time. Did not matter who was in the lead. Everybody went in and fought, and while that may not necessarily be the greatest idea, it was a hell of a watch, and I really enjoyed that. So Bay State, my boy Quas, I love you. I miss you already, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Well, we want to thank everyone who joined us for this slog of an adventure tonight from Game 1 all the way through. Thank you, of course, to you, Chizu. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to the players, and thank you to production. And we're going to leave you with probably the hardest thing that someone had to do all night. Come up with a top 5 from that series. That could easily be top 10, top 20, top 50, whatever. This was insane. So good luck to you, production, on that. But we will. You can also check it out on Twitter in case you don't want to stay for this, in case you got food waiting on you, because this was a long series. But we'll leave you with the top 5 plays from Boise State's 2-1 series victory over Bay State.
Like, share, subscribe. Give us your stuff. Now is going to be put into place. Red Hots with the flash, the ultimate. Here comes the hook shot. They are in on the back lane. Hextech Ultimatum comes out. Aqua is able to find one, but not a second. And it looks like Q-Meyer able to find one himself. Aqua is going to be brought down as Cal is also going to find one. Meanwhile, later, get on out of there if he can. He is, in fact, they'll pick up a kill. So now even if Red Hots goes down, they'll be moderately okay with this. Meanwhile, the pincer maneuver coming through. Goblin's able to find one. The flash over the wall gets him safely into the Baron Wolf Pit into Aqua. More armor stat than he can deal with. Sure, he's going to get locked down, but you look at him the wrong way. Trying to get maybe some help back here is going to fall from simply the Baron empowered minions alone. Another great wall means Red Hot's going to be trying to jump in here on Sakai. Is not able to do so. Cal is going to find Red Hots there. Meanwhile, moment to burn the Senna stun. That's going to be a relatively free break over to Boise State. Meanwhile, we're not done. We're coming in with everybody here, but there's no Ornhorn to finish it. Just kidding. No need. Goblin eviscerates everyone, and then some. You see the smiles on Cam. Mask or not, Boise State is vibing. Bye-bye, former LCS pro. 1v4, walking underneath the tower, going to flash out, allow for the minions to finish this game. They're going to find the Nexus with the help of the rest of the team. So, GGWP. See you next time. Bay State.
Boise State, once again, I think this...